Hello, good evening, and welcome to the WGL APAC Season 2 Finals, where tonight we have the two best APAC teams battling it out for the top spot in our region, and of course, the massive prize pool of that $50,000 going to the winner. I'm your host, Max Orogi for Fogley, and of course, I have our two wonderful casters going to help us bring the action. We have Jordan and Alex.
Yeah, the Team Efficiency versus Wargaming match coming up. I mean, it was the dream final. When I was sort of looking at it, I thought, if we get Team Efficiency and EL in the final, I'm going to be happy.
Yeah,
and they're here.
Exactly. They're here. You know, they have been the top two teams this season on the standing, so it is going to be great to see them finally duke it out and settle the score on who is the top tankers.
And of course, to help us break down and analyze the action, we have the Coalition Zoos, Nomad and Chippy. How you doing, guys?
Pretty good. Really
Great.
excited to see the upcoming grudge match happening soon.
Yeah, it's going to be a pretty good final, I think. It's just those top two teams vying it out. And, you know, TE today, I think they really want it.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that one. But, of course, before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let's have a look at how yesterday's games went. We had Team Efficiency taking out Karen Tiger in a 7-4 victory, and of course, EL wiping the floor with Horsemen 7-1. Now, Alex, were these the expected results of yesterday's games?
Oh, look, I mean, I actually think that we thought that both of them might have been a touch closer. Obviously, I did predict that, you know, Team Efficiency would win versus Karen Tiger in that 7-4, but the 7-1 against the Horsemen that EL managed to pull off, maybe a little bit surprising that in front of the home crowd, the Horsemen didn't do as well as we expected.
Yeah, really unfortunate stuff. Hope they'd done better than only a one-round victory to their name. Really rough stuff, but of course, Team Efficiency, EL Gaming, this is the big one of tonight. Nomad, how do you think the guys on Team Efficiency are feeling right now?
Oh, they got to be absolutely psyched. I mean, this is the dream, really. I mean, they're coming back after, you know, one season. You know, last season this was the match that they had in the finals, and you know they didn't do as well then. I mean, they didn't really expect it, I guess, but this time coming through, this is what they prepared for all season long, and here they are.
Yeah, it's going to be an incredible game. Really looking forward to, especially how they both played yesterday against their opponents. Team Efficiency taking out Karen Tiger. We thought that one, especially you, Jordan, thought that one was going to go all the way down to the wire.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I thought Karen Tiger maybe didn't step up as much as I probably would have expected from them, but I still think Team Efficiency as well looked quite good. And so I think, you know, look, 7-4, it's still a reasonable scoreline there for Karen Tiger. They can probably hold their heads high after that one. Team Efficiency definitely coming into it were looking like the favoured team. And so I think that Karen Tiger have done a good job there, but definitely Team Efficiency, of course, were the better team, and it's good to see them in the final.
Yeah, and I think lowballed Horsemen in that game against EL.
Yep.
Jordan giving them the only 2 rounds, I think it was, but
2 rounds,
they
yeah.
were only able to get themselves one. How do you think they're feeling right now, Chippy? Deflated?
Yeah, definitely. I think they definitely would have wanted to at least take 3 rounds. Like, I predicted them 7-3. I thought they would have performed better with, obviously, the home crown advantage. But yeah, it seemed like they in that one round that they took out on Mirror Vanguard, they had some fight in them, but I think they may have slightly tilted after losing a few more after that.
Yeah, it just wasn't meant to be for the Horsemen. Of course, it was an action-packed day yesterday. Let's have a look at some of the highlight moments that we have gone through and witnessed and experienced for ourselves. Any that really stood out to you, Alex?
Oh, look, I mean, yes, sir. I think some of those EL Gaming new strategies that they brought out, like the kind of reverse UDES on Himmelsdorf, that was pretty impressive. Obviously, we did also see the SU-14 too that didn't quite work out. JT, of course,
The 1v3
like we saw
from
there.
JT.
That was brilliant.
That, I think, was the play of the day yesterday. Certainly was a nice little turnaround in that particular round for Team Efficiency, but across the board, I don't think they necessarily needed it. If they had have lost that one, they probably still would have won the overall series. So, yeah, really good play from Team Efficiency, really good play from EL Gaming. I think both teams are coming into the finals today in good form.
Yeah, Team Efficiency, they started out very strong against Karen Tiger after a few good picks and a few good maps, but this is kind of the point where we thought, a Karen tiebreaker going to bring it all the way to that 7-6, but it wasn't meant to be. Team Efficiency just closed it out nice and methodical. Were there any other big highlights from this match for you, Nomad?
No, I think to be honest, the big sort of nail biter was definitely the JT 1v3. That was phenomenal to watch, and I think that had everyone at home.
This round as well, great clutch by Karen Tiger.
For sure, yeah.
But yeah, it was looking good. We got I think they had the early damage coming out from the RD as well, and then it just all went wrong for you boys in Team Efficiency. But here we have EL Gaming vs Horseman. That was a great little pick by Fox TS, and then he was just able to take control of the rest of the map. It just seemed like Horseman didn't really have an idea of what EL were trying to do here, Chippy.
Yeah, it's true, but as you can see now, the Moreau play by Horseman was the best out of their picks, but this was a little bit more
I think that kind of
to TCZ's kind of strats, in my opinion.
Just complete polar opposites of how they played on that Muro game. You really have to question what went wrong in Camp Horseman after having that one-round win, then to completely falling apart. EL would then go on to take that series 7-1 in a very convincing manner.
I don't think necessarily anything really went wrong for Horseman. More so, everything was kind of going right for EL Gaming. They came into that. They knew that they wanted to pick up the victory. They knew that they wanted to completely slaughter Horseman, and they did. And so, when you're against an EL Gaming that is in that kind of a mindset, I think it's very difficult to deal with them, particularly for an APAC team. Obviously, international teams are going to be different stories, but in the APAC region, no one really, apart from Team Efficiency, seemed to be able to contest with Horseman.
We'll have to see if that pans out against today, because EL, they just looked so good yesterday. Like, the victories they've had throughout Season 2, some have been great, but some have been not so good. They've definitely had to fight a lot more than they have in the past. So coming into this one, it definitely looked like they're back on form, back firing all cylinders, Alex. What do we think about Team Efficiency's chances tonight?
Oh, look, I love Team Efficiency, and when you think about it, you would rather no other team be facing EL in the grand final, because TE, of course, they're the only ones that over the last 2 seasons have actually managed to beat EL, and they've beat them twice. You know, they do have this season a 66% win rate against EL Gaming. So, look, I'm actually really going to be rating Team Efficiency, particularly after their games yesterday. They were just looking so strong, and, you know, look at this for a lineup.
The lads on Team Efficiency are looking mean in those new jerseys. Of course, icon itself, maybe not so mean, just the cool panda with the glass. So what do you think of the changes they made to the little icon here?
I rate the little panda. I think it's great. I think it's cool.
Definitely something intimidating to look across.
Oh, look, I think
you guys got the cool lion going on, right?
Yeah, we've got the cool lion, you know, but you know, they've got, you know, sort of like you know, I think it sort of draws people in, you know, drops their defenses a little bit, I think.
False sense of security.
Yeah, that's it.
Fair enough here. And of course, Team Efficiency on your screen right now. They had a great showing yesterday against Karen Tiger, 7-4 victory over them. Both these teams now, EL as well, securing their place in the grand final. So that is a huge boon for them. They could kind of at least have that strain off the back of their heads right now. But of course, making it into the APAC finals has secured themselves that at least second place finish of the $25,000. But the winner gets that massive $50,000. So, of course, both are going to be vying for that one. Then you've got the current champions, EL, the best team in the region, but of course, can they defend their throne, Jordan?
Exactly. That's really what they're out to do here right now, is defend that title as the best team in the region, and of course defend the championship that they did win in Season 1 as well. It's a bit of a changed roster since we saw them last season. We saw Rattlesnake coming in yesterday for EL Gaming. We've seen a couple of different players, for example, Principals come into this roster throughout the season. But I definitely think that this EL Gaming is as strong, if not maybe even stronger than the one we saw last season at the finals. So it should be a good matchup here. Rattlesnake really performed very well yesterday. In his first game in the WGL APAC, which incidentally was actually at the finals. So it's a big step up for him, I suppose, and he answered the call well.
Look, now, Chippy, looking at a squad like EL Gaming, and you guys have versed them time and time again, when you're getting ready to play against the Juggernauts here, what goes into preparing?
It's more of a how Elong is going to prepare for you. They're just so regimented, and they've got all their strats really down pat.
Yeah.
And it's just more of how are you going to try and break the Goliath. It's you have to throw a bit of a different kind of strat towards EL, because in the past they haven't really done well against unusual strats.
Yeah.
But for example, obviously we had the Alex strat with the T95s and E4s on Himmelsdorf, and that managed to work out pretty well.
Yeah, they put a dent in the armor.
Yeah.
Look, and coming into this, you can see EL on the screen once again. Laser focus. These guys had an immaculate showing yesterday, barely even revealing a single weakness. I wouldn't have been surprised if how they were playing yesterday they were able to take it away 7-0 against Horseman. But I don't think it's going to be that easy in tonight's game against Team Efficiency, because when we look at the head-to-head right now, Team Efficiency have the 2-3 advantage over EL Gaming. Why do you think that is, Nomad? Why is Team Efficiency the only squad that can seem to take it to EL at the moment?
I think it's just a little bit of the fact that they've got a lot of the Aussies, I think, running the show, and a couple of, you know, like the powerhouse Russian players as well.
Yeah.
I think it brings a different meta to the Asia sort of scene that they maybe just haven't really been used to seeing before, and I think it's caught them off guard before. But, you know, as you know, those matches, they've been very close, and who knows, could be something different today.
Got our 2-star players of the night. We have Moore and Nice. Jordan, what can you tell us about these two powerhouses?
Both these two, the in-game leaders actually for their team. Nice kind of shares those duties a little bit with Black, but Moore definitely is predominantly the in-game leader here for team efficiency. So maybe they aren't the biggest damage dealers, but they definitely have their own impact on the game in their own way. And when I was actually looking at this matchup, I kind of checked the most played tanks, and Nice's most played tank is a T10.
There you go.
It's kind of perplexing. Not a tank that you see all that often, but apparently that's the tank that he's played the most this season. And he's done a fairly good job across the board. Both these two players, you can look at them statistically, they're very, very closely matched. Obviously, some differences, but across the board, like, both strong players for their roster. They're both good callers, and I think that, you know, they're the best of the best in the region.
Yeah, and yesterday when we got that brief listen-in with Team Efficiency, I think, you know, Matt, said it's the most animated you've ever heard a player like Moore before.
Oh, for sure. I mean, he's normally just one of the most chill people that
Quiet,
you could
yeah.
ever... Yeah, just really relaxed. And
Yeah.
even when things are going completely wrong, he'll still be completely calm
The
and
voice
level.
of reason.
But yesterday, wow, he was fired up.
He
He
was on.
wants it. He wants it bad.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see how they play against EL here tonight because they're the only team in the region that have actually taken games off them before. So this is the only one that matters, though. It doesn't matter how many games they won during the season, but you can see, got to stay healthy, got to eat your fruit while you're over there, guys.
I'm
So
a
you
big
gotta,
fan of bananas.
look, you have a long journey ahead of you in this final because we're all expecting it to go all the way, or at least
Most
maybe
of us.
90% of the way.
Yeah.
So you got to make sure you have your fruit, you keep hydrated, stay safe, guys. But
Yeah.
of course, the crowd there as well, they all have those annoying blow-up sticks that
What do you
make
mean
an absolute
annoying?
wreck.
Annoying?
They only have one, though.
They're
Where's,
awesome.
where's the second
You got
one?
to bang it with
You got to bang them together.
your buddy next to each other.
Oh, buy one, get one free, it seemed.
Maybe they're just the ones that you like flop around.
Oh, like,
That's no fun.
you can see the cute little Wargaming logo on there as well.
Yep.
That's good. Looks like it's going to be a full house here tonight in the Eco Arc. Both these teams vying and ready to go. Really excited to see how this one even starts off because obviously yesterday we saw EL Gaming open up with that bizarre Udes strat that we kind of theory crafted as to why and why not it may be good. But what goes into maybe an EL practice session where they even attempt that, Alex?
Well, look, the thing with EL is that they have the gaming house, right? So they have more time, I think it's safe to say, than any other team in the region to just test out every little micro facet of the game. You know, they are going to be the ones that are sitting in a training room on Himmelsdorf for hours per day, I think, and you know, making... Just trying to find out any little advantage that they can get, like that Udes. You know, we've seen them before. I think they were the first team in APAC to do the AMX 1390 flip on its side as well on Himmelsdorf, and a few other things like that.
Definitely innovators in the region
yeah.
here. A lot of time not just spending trying to do boosts. Am I right, Nomad?
Oh, yeah, look, I think with the gaming house, I think it's great because, you know, sometimes you'll just be, say your hardline, you know what? In the shower, you just be, you know what'd be great? You know, Udas, you know, I'm just gonna quickly talk to Nice and see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
You could just like, walk, basically you're there, time to theory craft with the boys right across so you don't have to sync up everyone's schedule, as I'm sure it can be trying at times. But of course, team efficiency, still, they have the potential to beat them. They've beaten them before, but we got to remember, in a best of 13, we only know that team efficiency can take 5 maps, and we've really had a long, in-depth look at how the maps may go here today, Jordan. And I don't know, can team efficiency do it? Give us your honest opinion here.
Yes, they can do it. Will they do it? In my opinion, no. Sad as it is to say, obviously I'm a big fan of team efficiency, and if they do win, they're probably going to grill me about this for the rest of eternity.
No
I
faith,
suppose.
Jordan.
But it's EL Gaming, right? You can't think that EL Gaming is going to lose this kind of a match, you know. And when I looked at the map pool, I just didn't see team efficiency off the 7-6. So I'm going to go the way of EL Gaming, but I mean, maybe I'll change my prediction
We
after I
have
see
been
these
there
maps.
before, Jordan. The first time we saw team efficiency win, I think myself and Alex went on a limb and think, look, I think we team efficiency got this, but I didn't think they would be able to do it again against EL Gaming, and that's where we were wrong, Jordan. We were wrong.
I tell you what else I was wrong about. It was these maps. I have no idea what is going on here, to be honest.
Steps and Mines being taken
Steps
away
and
off
Mines,
the board.
okay.
All right, let's go.
that's-
Get into
that's-
it, Jordan.
yeah.
Lead the
Steps and
charge,
Mines
my
is...
friend.
Okay, we understand Steps and Mines being banned away there, but Prokhorovka picked by EL Gaming. To me, that was one of the ones that was actually going to be let go all the way down to the bottom of the map selection vetoes. Actually, I have it as the 8th or the 6th map in the pool here in my ideal prediction, in my ideal vetoes and picks. And then Ruenberg and Muravanka being picked by Team Efficiency. I thought that those two maps were actually going to be picked by EL Gaming. Those were the first two picks from EL Gaming in my mind. So to see Team Efficiency picking those up is a massive surprise.
And then
a
he'll
real-
go with Ghost Town. That's weird.
I almost feel like it's the wrong way around.
That's weird.
But
not.
the bans were the right way around.
Yep.
So I just think these teams are picking each other's maps almost.
So to kill you guys in a little secret of what went on before, we all got, as a collective, all 5 of us, went through and had a look at what we expected the maps were to go down. I was the only one that went and actually saw the map pool that they'd actually banned. So when Jordan's like, "I don't spoil anything for me," all 4 of these guys, they're so confident that they're analysts and professionals. They couldn't have been more wrong.
Well, in our world, we sort of said Steps Mine's getting banned away. EL picks Muro. Team Efficiency picks Himmel's Ghost Town. EL picks Ruinberg. Team Efficiency picks Cliff.
Did you get
EL
any of
picks
them right?
I don't think we got any of them right. I think they're completely the wrong way around.
What are we doing with you guys on the desk, mate?
I don't know.
Nomad, what's going on here? What?
You know what? I think it may just be a case of they're just trying to really figure out, they're on their, because these are their weaker maps that they've all picked, and so maybe they've just gone and really gone back to the drawing board, really done a bit of a boot camp on these maps that they're weaker on, and they're feeling confident.
That's definitely a possibility coming into this one, and I'm not too sure where we kind of lost ourselves, our train of thought, when we were coming up with the predictions for our own little tournament here on what maps we thought were going to come through, but we were way off. Let's just say that. Chippy, what do you think? Give us some insight onto why we thought what we did originally when we went through our own map draft.
Going through the maps, we saw clearly that obviously EL's entire season has banned Steps.
Yeah,
they haven't even played Steps this season. TE, on the other hand, they obviously don't like mines that much. They're not a really good win rate on that, either attack or defense. So that's obviously almost instantly we knew those 2 maps were going to get banned out.
Yeah.
But yeah, coming back to what Nomad said about the picks, I think it's just a bit of a change up, obviously, for the finals. They feel maybe that they've got the edge on those maps comparatively to the other teams. So hopefully then they'll win maybe get a 2-2 or 2-0, sorry, and not a 1-1 in some cases.
Just by the way, that's actually meant to be Cliff instead of Steps in the middle there. Steps was vetoed out by EL Gaming. So Cliff is going to be the second last map in the pool. But yeah, this is going to be a really interesting map pool, the way that it's turned out, in my opinion.
So where do we see the advantages coming from here, Jordan?
Well, in my eyes, I thought Ruinberg was going to be a 2-0 for EL Gaming, or if anyone was going to get a 2-0 on Ruinberg, it would be EL Gaming. Same for Muravanka. So Team Efficiency have picked those 2 as their first map picks, and in my mind, we had to see Team Efficiency starting off with a 2-0 to sort of be competitive in this on their own map pick. So EL Prokhorovka, I think that's a 1-1. Ruinberg, it's a 1-1 usually. I think it could be a 2-0 for EL. Muravanka, I think, could be a 2-0 for EL as well, and so I think that's really where those 2 teams are going to be set apart.
I see you shaking your head there, Alex. You got something you want to add, my friend?
It's not happening. Look, I'm siding with Mr. Chippy over here. We're both saying that it is going to be a 7-6 in favour of Team Efficiency. Look, this is season stats. Season stats, it doesn't matter. We're at the live finals now. It's time to throw all those away and think about what's in front of us. And Jordan, it looks like we've got some tanks in front of us.
We do have some tanks in front of us. Double STRV strategy coming out again from Team Efficiency, which is what we saw yesterday. So that's going to be a little interesting. We haven't seen too much of it from them this season, but obviously we saw it yesterday. It did defeat Karen Tiger. But yeah, this map pool, I mean, I'm very perplexed. I guess Prokhorovka, I think as far as I'm concerned, this is almost a formality getting that out of the way. I think this is a 1-1. And I really want to see what comes out here on Ruinberg and Muravanka, what Team Efficiency's got for us there. Because for them to pick those 2 maps which they haven't really been picking at all throughout this season, they must have something up their sleeves. Up against EL Gaming, who are very, very strong on both those maps as well, mind
look
you.
at this. You're writing this one off, but I'm not too sure about that, Jordan, because we are going to be seeing EL Gaming pushing up that 1-2 line, and this almost looks like a repeat of what happened yesterday with Team Efficiency.
They're running right into a double STRV strategy. Admittedly, they've got their own 2 STRVs, which is a little interesting on the attack. Fox TS and Quiet. But there's JT and Bohan. They can sit behind those bushes. They can absolutely slam EL Gaming here, and they just need to make this work more. He's going to try and survive for as long as he can. Where's the damage from Team Efficiency? They need to get this out, and they're not getting it out as fast as they need to be. More goes down with not very much of a response here from Team Efficiency. Those STRVs now are spotted, and we are seeing some damage come across to EL Gaming. But really, I just don't think Team Efficiency, those STRVs, have done enough.
Yeah, where's the focus fire? It's just not there from Team Efficiency. Surely you'd try and blow up Fox DS in the STRV first, or someone like that. And I'm not too sure what's happening with Bohan there. He just took an HE shell, it looked like, from Principal. But
I think
they
Principal's they're trying to HE him because they can't damage him from the front.
Yeah.
Principal getting that connecting shot through the side there, but I mean, I don't think this has gone too well for Team Efficiency, that's for
not at
sure.
all. This is not going well. They needed to have taken down the first 1 or 2 tanks that pushed up the 1-2 line, and they just failed to do that. Fox TS, one more shot will take him down from Safi, so that's good. But at this stage, Team Efficiency, they've already lost 3 tanks.
Yeah, and that's far too many. They've been able to take down 2 here, admittedly, for EL Gaming, and the health is actually favourable right now for Team Efficiency, but they've got 2 Mousers, a Bat Chat, well now 1 Mouse, a Bat Chat, and an I251.
Yeah.
Like, how are they going to beat 2 113s that are almost full HP, a Bat Chat on the field there, or a couple of Bat Chats on the field there still for EL Gaming? It's still hanging in the balance, right? Team Efficiency could still win this one, but it's going to have to be some amazing play from Granovsky and Safi pretty much to be able to pick up the victory here. Maybe Skell, if he can get around behind, or if he can catch Rattlesnake off guard, take him down in that Bat Chat, then maybe he's going to be able to pull something off as well. But I just think EL Gaming's got the advantage here.
Yeah, we need to see a kill onto Rattlesnake, who's on the reload now for another 12 seconds. If Team Efficiency do manage to get a spot off onto Rattlesnake, who's sitting in a bush right now, and manage to pick him off, then that's going to be really good. But I'm just not seeing that happening. And the issue is, now Team Efficiency, they're kind of stuck with this Mouse. And a Mouse is not the tank you want, with just 3 tanks left on the field.
Yes and no. The situation that actually this Mouse is in is actually not too bad because he can sit himself right next to that 1 flag, be some consistent resets for Team Efficiency should they need it. The fact that he's got so much HP this late in the game as well, it's not so late in the game, but the situation that we're in here for EL Gaming is that they can't really take that Mouse head on. So they need to find a way to dislodge it. And it's going to be very difficult to actually get rid of Granovsky. And I think this down to, or how this map kind of plays out is really down to how Granovsky plays in that Mouse. If he can soak up a lot of damage, if he can really soak that fire from EL Gaming and allow Safi and Skell to rotate around behind the back, maybe catch someone off guard, that's where Team Efficiency wins or loses this game. And it's up to EL Gaming to make sure that they don't waste too much time on Granovsky and that Mouse. They need to be focusing on the priority targets.
Yeah, well, it's going to be interesting to see how that works. Granovsky coming off the reload soon does actually manage to put one into hardliner. That's nice. And I feel as though Safi as well is going to be a big part in this, because Safi's the majority of Team Efficiency's damage that's left, right? I mean, yeah, sure, a Mouse does have a decent amount of DPM, but look, very, very easy to outplay that big German super heavy if you can outnumber it, which currently EL Gaming is doing. And I mean, it'll be interesting to see when EL Gaming decide to put Rattlesnake back into the fight, because obviously he is solo, but he is in a batch and he does have so
Skell's
much
in trouble
damage
as well. He's being chased down by Nice. They know where Safi is too. And Skell, he has to get out of here, but I think it's going to be too little too late. Nice should be able to pop over that ridge and take him down, but Nice just going for the spotting run, so that's not too bad. Does allow a little bit of damage to go into Skell, and that's crucial damage as well. Nice, he could get one shot into Skell here and pick him up, but yeah, there we go. I thought he was just going to not peek over, but he does in the end. So that's nicely played from EL Gaming. Just shutting down the eyes, shutting down that extra little bit of damage that maybe Team Efficiency would have had. Now Safi has lost his ammo rack too. He's not going to be able to reload for, well, not very easily. Not at all now that he's been taken down by Principal. And that's game over. EL Gaming, they're going to take away that first one. And really what I think that comes down to was that start for Team Efficiency. The STRVs needed to do much more work, and they just didn't quite get it done.
100%. They definitely did there. So that is going to be hardliner taking down Granovsky for the win. And a pretty convincing win there to EL Gaming to start us off. And you're right, those STRVs, in my eyes, I don't know what they were firing at. And I would be very interested to see the post-battle stats for those ones once we get that up, because I just don't feel as though they'll be too high at all.
Very convincing start coming through for EL. Looked great from them off the initial. I agree. Wasn't sure what Team Efficiency were trying to achieve at the start there. Nomad, any insight?
Yeah, look, I thought at the start when they had the whole team pretty much pushing down that 1-2 line, we're going to see a repeat of what happened to Karen Tiger yesterday.
Yeah.
But JT and Bohan, they seem to have dropped the ball there with the focus fire. They left basically more there high and dry. He just died there by himself, doing not a whole lot of damage. And I suspect maybe they got some of their first couple of shots off, probably poorly chosen shots onto that first STRV of EL Gaming, and just would have just auto-bounced off them.
You can see EL Gaming looking very happy on your screens just before. Of course, it's a different story over in Team Efficiency camp that is laser focused. And a little bit of stress maybe coming into this, maybe some pre-game one jitters coming through here, Chippy.
you're going to have that nervous energy around you,
Yep.
but you've just got to learn to focus that in and obviously use it to your own benefit. Use that energy to spur yourself on and use that in the game. I think with that 1-2 line push by Elong, they used the 1-1-3s quite effectively.
Yeah.
They pushed them out really far to the sides of the STRVs and managed to get flanking shots. So that's how they eventually went down.
Like they're spectating of yesterday's games against Karen Tiger versus Team Efficiency, where they saw Team Efficiency do the exact same thing, where it completely went pear-shaped for Karen Tiger, but who knows, EL, maybe they have a counter to it.
Well, actually, when Team Efficiency played Karen Tiger yesterday, they did have an STRV over the other side of the map, so they just had the single STRV on the 1-2 line, and maybe that is partly why EL decided, you know what, let's push down here. There's only going to be one STRV there, but then there was two, and in that kind of a situation, you think, oh, well, EL Gaming's in trouble here, running into two STRVs. There's a 113 there as well, just to soak up a few shells. Surely Team Efficiency can be able to get the damage off that they need here, but it just didn't happen, and that's where things went really wrong for them. And it was always going to be an uphill battle for Team Efficiency to come back into that one, and they just couldn't get it done in the end.
So what was the issue? Were they just missing their shots? Or?
They must have. I suspect they wouldn't have missed their shots.
Yeah.
I suspect they would have bounced either off the STRV or off maybe one of the 113, something like that. But certainly they didn't get the shots into the targets that they needed to. That's the real crux of it.
Long and short of it, nonetheless, a great start for EL coming into this series. That's going to fill them up with confidence coming into the second half here. And curious to see how Team Efficiency answer back. Don't think they're going to be too tilted. It's only still game one, round one. They still have a lot of time to work with, a lot of rounds to go here. And hopefully they come back and start swinging.
Yeah, well, hopefully, I guess that Team Efficiency there, look, it is just the first half, and, I mean, at the end of the day, it is only one game in a potentially 13-game series. So, look, it's not the end of the world for them. It obviously would have been nice for Team Efficiency to start off with the win there, but I think they can probably pull it back on the attacking half here. They did look quite confident, I think, on Proc Attack yesterday.
Yeah.
So
keep in mind they lost their first round to Karen Tiger as well yesterday, so they do know how to bounce back from a rough start here. Maybe also getting taken off guard by some of the map picks as well.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, have a look at this. Like, there's just not that much damage going into EL Gaming, and the fact that they're able to take down two tanks unanswered.
There's damage.
There's damage, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's not really.
It's not focused.
Yeah. It's not focused, exactly. And the fact that EL Gaming is able to take down two tanks unanswered, essentially, they didn't take another tank loss for their own two tank kills. That's the problem really there for Team Efficiency. It was too much to come back from hardliner, starting off with an amazing game, and that's not what you want to see if you're Team Efficiency.
The 113s, both in Hardliner and Prince, were really showing up, and we've seen the 113s kind of dry out a lot recently after the mouse came through. It's just kind of see them go up, they find a mouse, and they're like, oh, well, there's nothing I can do here. What do you think EL did differently to allow their 113s to really shine, Chippy?
Like as I said before, they used them as sort of that arrow tip to push into TE and their defensive line, and they just kept pushing past the STRVs, and they just got those juicy flank shots. I think if TE had shot the 113s in the front and slowed the advance down, it could have played out slightly differently. But yeah, that's what I saw from that game.
You can see the S-Tanks not doing a lot on the side of Team Efficiency. They're really struggling to hit their mark, and more in his 113 barely got a
well, I mean, he
off.
couldn't really do anything. Like, he just went down so fast. He needed some more backup, and that's the problem when you're playing in a position like that. You do rely on your teammates, and unfortunately, yeah, he only got 2 shots off, penetrated one of them at least, but yeah, obviously it's not enough out of your tier 10 tank, but you can't knock him for that.
EL Gaming are one of the best teams at identifying kind of the lost lamb there and singling them out and finishing them off here, but another great start for them. They take up the first half of Prokhorovka here, of course. Now TE coming in on the attacking side. What do we expect to see them rolling out with, Alex?
Well, on the attacking side, I mean, if we recall back to yesterday, this is where they took their Object 263. Which I think worked quite well. I would love to see them go with another 263. You know, again, it fulfills many similar roles to an S-Tank, but is a little bit different in that it is a little bit sturdier and will still bounce some of those shells from the front. Apart from that, you know, we could just be seeing some standard tanks, so that's basically it.
That's the exact same lineup that they took yesterday, actually, against Karen Tiger. EL Gaming on the defensive side, they've got an artillery piece. That's going to be a real problem for the Object 263 should it be spotted. Double STRV, double IS7 as well here. This is going to be a really tough nut to crack for team efficiency.
Yeah.
And yes, the Object 263, it was okay yesterday, I thought. It got into a good position, but JT I felt didn't make it work. And I don't know if
he did 4K damage.
Yes, but it didn't feel super impactful to me.
I agree.
So
I know what you're saying.
I want to see a little bit more from it. We want to see a similar performance there in terms of the damage, but I think he needs to be getting it out earlier.
You know what? Look at this. EL Gaming, they're all on that 1 flag side. None of them on the 2 flag. If team efficiency can actually spot that out and recognize that, then TE, if they push on towards the 2 flag, I actually think that's a really easy flag to hold versus EL Gaming's team, because EL's team not very mobile. I mean, yeah, IS7s can maybe poke up across the rail tracks, but STRV, you generally don't want it that close as in if it's in A6.
Yeah.
And that's where it would have to be. So I think a 2 flag push here could work. Obviously, EL Gaming, you know, they haven't really all been spotted yet. Maybe Hardliner has, but Team Efficiency don't know where the rest of EL Gaming are right now. So it looks like maybe they're going to be trying for a bit of a 1-2 flag push, which looking at where EL Gaming is sat, I think it's going to be really hard to drive the knife through that lineup.
It is. And I said before that this game started that I thought EL Gaming's composition was going to be a tough nut to crack. I think we'll have to hear from Team Efficiency what they're thinking right now. Jump in and have a listen in with Team Efficiency.
I'm just doing a run here to see if I get lit from here.
I7 mid.
On both side.
I got tagged by two guy. They have
Yeah.
like another I7 over here.
Another I7 over there. Okay.
That means mouse
Let's
A6.
play fucking 8-9.
Let's play right side.
Yeah.
RT fire.
So, can we get like I7 here
Yeah,
and some
I'll go
113 somewhere here? Then we basically can stay with Safi here, and Scale will just scout. We will aim this first, and then we can go.
Do we keep anything in one line?
I don't think we really need to. We can keep 263 maybe here, and then
We should
when
keep
we
it
all
batch
on
out,
this
one
side.
line, spotting.
Okay, well, I'll stay because I got optics anyway, so.
Well, Botek is on that side, so
Yeah, but low HP. Botic is low HP.
yeah. So you are not getting spotted from here, right?
No, nope. You want me to go up the hill?
No, I think heavies should just stay here. Stay mid.
What,
She's 263. Okay.
But the
Yeah,
thing
I'm
is that we are doing it too
We're
long,
really slow,
so
I
they will
think.
probably rotate.
Yeah.
Right. What do you want to do?
Oh,
just spoil me.
Try at least not to get spotted.
Guys, why are we bleeding so much?
Because he fucking poked and shoot me.
So both I7 and 113 are spotted, right?
Yes.
RT
So
fire.
they'll fucking rotate, hold their team.
They can't rotate to the right side.
No.
Carter just fired. Feel free
to
to.
get over here
Just go
first.
forward.
263. Going back here, please. 263. Going back there.
We need A0 and start working on A6 right now.
Yeah, Granovsky need to go there.
Going.
RT fire.
Guys, for fuck's sake.
They have
Yo,
parties.
are you sure nothing at A6?
Yeah.
Well then, cut scale goes A6 now and spot.
Wait.
Well, it's a little bit interesting there for team efficiency. Some frustrations, I think, going on as well as some good information gathering being done, but they have quite a lot of HP. You could hear Safi particularly getting quite frustrated with how that was going.
Yep.
So this is an issue here for team efficiency. They have lost a bit of HP, but it's nothing to get too bothered by at this point. As long as they can get themselves into a good position and start to put some pressure on EL Gaming right about now, they can come back into this one. But definitely EL Gaming is in the driver's seat.
Yeah, look, I'm actually just a little bit worried there, because what we heard from Team Efficiency was, like, there was kind of disputing calls, and no one single person who was calling all of the shots, right? You know, we heard I think it might have been Granovsky say, okay, guys, let's all move towards a 2 flag, and then I forget who it was, maybe JT or one of the other guys that said, okay, let's let's send someone back to the one line and let's have someone stay there.
Yeah, and the one thing that I noticed as well is that Moore wasn't really coming as much as he was yesterday, that's for sure. I think it was JT was like, Botech, what are we doing? And obviously Team Efficiency, they referred to Moore as Botech. And he kind of didn't even really answer all that much. He was kind of in there a little bit, but definitely not as involved as he was yesterday. And that could be an issue for Team Efficiency if maybe their in-game leader is not coming to them as much as they would like. And so you can see, again, Team Efficiency just continuing to bleed damage. And Team Efficiency, I think they need to get something started here. They need to get on a cap. They need to try and pressure EO Gaming right now, because EO Gaming, as far as they're concerned, this is perfect.
Yeah. Absolutely, this is working really well for EL Gaming, and the more time that Artie's on the field, the more potential shots that FoxCS is going to be able to get, particularly to these slow heavies like Bohan in that IS7. That's going to hit, I think, yep, 476.
Another bit of damage.
Another bit of damage, and it's just letting it tick over. Like, and I don't understand as well. Like, they made the call to go to the 2 flag because they'd recognised that was where EL Gaming weren't, and then they were calling, oh yeah, no, they've rotated by now. We're too slow. It's like EL Gaming hadn't rotated. Skell would have spotted them if they rotated, and then now we're seeing this weird like Safi and Moore going up to the middle of the map, which I have no idea what that's going to accomplish. They should get someone onto the 2 flag. They should take control of that A6 crossing and kind of go from there, I guess. They've got an Object 263 that they could put, I don't know, maybe even up the hill if they wanted, or, there's plenty of places for it.
It really doesn't feel like the decisive Team Efficiency that we've been seeing throughout this season. It looks like they're going to go down 2-0 to start off with here, which is, it's not the biggest of deals. It's obviously not where they would have wanted to start off, and I think that, they are going to have to do some real
they
talking.
can pull it back.
They need to talk, really. They need to sort of settle down after this. I'm calling this one a write-off, but we'll see how these bat chats do go. If that shot hit Safi, I think that would have been all over, but he survives, and this should mean Hardliner will go down. Safi's got one more shell, I think, in the clip, and he will be able to connect that one. Maybe he goes down here, though. There's a couple of STRVs looking at him. In the end, it's actually Principal to take the kill. Moore will go down. It will be a 2-for-2 overall here. Black and Hardliner going down for 2 bat chats. So 2 IS7s for 2 bat chats. In this kind of a situation, this late in the game, I think EO Gaming win that trade.
Well, look, Team Efficiency actually traded out okay, and now they're almost evening it up that scoreboard, but Bohan goes down, Party goes down right after that, and suddenly Team Efficiency really not looking too good, and unless JT can pull off something magical there with that Object 263, it's looking like it's all gone downhill here for TE.
Yeah, this is not looking great at all. I don't think that they can come back from this at this point. 2 minutes left on the clock, 3 tanks alive. They've got no cap pressure, no pressure at all. JT's now been spotted out, so they know exactly where he is, and you can bet FoxTS is going to be having a look in his direction. There you go. So he sees the open top tank destroyer. He says, yummy, yes please. Here we go. Let's have a look and see what he does. 583 damage. Not too much, but it's still enough at this point for EO Gaming to be feeling comfortable. They are going to win this one on Prokhorovka. And I think what Team Efficiency needs to do here is maybe just take a bit of a breather, take 5 in this break between the maps, and sort of have a chat and say, guys, look, we're not playing the way we should be. We're playing ourselves out of this game, and they need to just knuckle down and really come into Ruinberg with a fresh mindset, thinking, you know what, we can do this, right? Because at the moment it feels as though they're giving EO Gaming, I think, too much respect.
Yep, 100% agree. It's a bit tough to watch, to be honest, because this isn't really the Team Efficiency that that did win against EL Gaming in their first match up against them in the season. Like this is a bit of a scared Team Efficiency. Thinking way too much about their actions. They're not just playing flowing world of tanks. They're over-analyzing everything and not sticking with their calls once they're made.
Really got to wonder what's going on in Team Efficiency camp right now. Maybe these nerves, these jitters, taking a little bit more hold on their mental state than they would have thought. You guys can see clearly that they're just not playing the way that they did against Karen Tiger yesterday, that they've done against EL Gaming in the past, and I really hope they shape up and come out with something stronger.
Yeah, they need to. I mean, what we've been seeing so far from Team Efficiency is not anywhere near good enough. They need to come out on Ruinberg. It is their map pick, and show us something here. They need to maybe... It's hard to say they need to get a 2-0 on Ruinberg because of the nature of the map. They 100% need to win their defensive side. I suspect that EO Gaming will be starting on the defense, given that it's Team Efficiency's map pick, which would mean, in my eyes, that this is going to go down to 3-0, and that's going to be a tough thing to come back from for Team Efficiency. They just need to show us that mental fortitude now that we're thinking about.
Safi talking to the boys.
You can see, exactly. He's telling them, like, look, guys, this is not how we need to be playing. We need to step up, and you know what? It's fine for him to get fired up here because Team Efficiency, they didn't play that first game on Prokhorovka well at all, and they need something to turn around.
Yeah, it's very dangerous to get this kind of fired up this early on in the series where you really need to be pacing yourself. So to go down 2 rounds due to misplays in terms of your strategy and planning going into this game, you have to wonder, coming into Ruinberg now, that's Proc done and dusted 2-0 to EL Gaming, both very convincing rounds. Coming into Ruinberg, what can Team Efficiency do to get themselves back on track here, Nomad?
Yeah, I think as Jordan and Alex said, they're just giving them way too much respect. I mean, they know that they've beaten them. They've beaten them twice before in tiebreakers. I mean, why are they being so indecisive? I think they just need to not waste so much time getting inside their own heads and just really flesh out a plan of attack and just roll with it.
Yeah, it's good that we got a little bit of a glimpse onto the inner workings of their communications there to hear that they are actually flustered. Like you said, I think Alex pointed it out in the cast itself. They're communicating, they're getting the spots of where EL Gaming are, and then they're just expecting EL to know exactly what's going on at all time and getting into their own heads a little bit too much. Now, Chippy, when you're in this mind state, what is one of the best ways to kind of pull yourself back in?
I think they just, as Nobo said, they just need to get back into their groove of obviously not over-analyzing everything and go with the flow. With that map on proc attack, they could have just moved some tanks into the second cap, put some pressure on Elong to then react. They were planning to do that. They were talking about moving to that side, but they didn't put any pressure on Elong to move. And then they just went into that slowly bleed HP. The Artie worked them over time. And it just turned into a disadvantaged position for TE.
Yeah, I think Alex said it best. You hate to see it. You hate to see that happen to a team that has such potential here. The only team to ever take out EL in the APAC region that we've had on our broadcast here. And to come out this week into a series, they usually lead the series against EL when they verse them on the regular shows.
Yes, they have actually been in one situation where they were down 4-2. They came back to actually win that one 5-4. But is that going to happen today? I mean, I don't know. I definitely said that I thought Team Efficiency needed to start off strong here. However, that was with the caveat on their own map, right? So they need to show up here on Ruinberg and Muravanka. I think they need to get at least 3 out of the 4 rounds coming out here just to make things a little bit more even for them, and so they can feel a little bit more comfortable coming into what will then be EL Gaming's next map pick. But I'm thinking that, TE, they've started off poorly, but they are a team that we've seen come back from deficits like this before, even against EL Gaming. So I'm hoping that they're going to be able to show that for us today. And it's definitely something that we didn't see from them in Season 1, but Season 2, Team Efficiency, is a much different sort of a beast, really. So I'm still hoping against hope that Team Efficiency is going to make this close, but if they continue playing like they did there on Prokhorovka, then it's going to be anything but.
Yeah, it's not the first time we've heard their comms get a little bit heated at one another. I think it was that game you were mentioning when they versed EL and they were down 2-4 at the time, and we listened, I think, on Himmels, and they were getting really in each other's face about it, and they actually came back and ended up winning that series against EL, so wouldn't be surprised if they do kind of resolve some of the issues they're having now and come back twice as strong.
I think they maybe need to change their strats up as well from what we saw yesterday. Those were pretty much the exact same strats that they ran against Karen Tiger. So EL Gaming was going to be 100% prepared for that. And you can't go into EL Gaming with the same strats as you did against Karen Tiger because EL Gaming will read you like a book. And you can see it's showed there on Prokhorovka. EL Gaming, 2 very, very convincing victories. And it hasn't even looked close for Team Efficiency. Like, 4 out of the top 4 damage dealers, all EL Gaming, even Fox TS in his Tier 8. In the Lorraine, 2,000 damage, quite a respectable scoreline. We just need to be seeing a lot more coming out from Team Efficiency. And look, it is early days. I guess we are being a little bit gloom and doom about Team Efficiency right now. I did say I thought it was going to be 7-6. I'm still going to stick by that. But if these next 2 maps go the way of EL Gaming, or if it goes 2-2, EL Gaming's up 4-2. Do I really see Team Efficiency coming back? Well, I guess we have to wait and see.
Well, again, I guess it comes back to it's fine to be realistic about these scenarios. And obviously going down 2-0 to EL, it's not the end of the world, but it's the fashion that they did so is what has me worried about this one. You can see the object 263 just not working out at all for JT, barely getting any damage on the board here. And like you mentioned, John, it's the exact same strategies they pulled out against Karen Tiger, and that's not going to fly coming into a game against EL, who were had the best seat in the house to just watch the games and study your opponent's gameplay. So coming into Ruinberg here, we know it's a very one-sided map in terms of we're expecting to go 1-1, defenders coming out ahead here. Is there any possibility that Team Efficiency can knuckle down and bring us that 2-0 Nomad?
I think so, but they're really going to have to do a mental reset. And I think we saw Safi there just, really firing up the team. As much as Moore is the in-game leader with a strategic sort of aspect, Safi, I think, is more the mental game.
And I'm just looking here, and I'm not really seeing too much of an impressive lineup from Team Efficiency going onto the attack here on Runeberg. They've actually got 5 Batchats, 2 of them Batchat APs, a Mouse and a 113. And they're going to be playing up against CL Gaming, who have a pretty formidable looking lineup. A couple of 50Bs in their side, 1 Batchat, a couple of Mouses, and their own 113. So I really hope the Team Efficiency know what they've got in mind here.
Well, they're making use of those bat chats early on. They know that their strength lies in the mobility. They've gained control of the little township here. So Team Efficiency essentially have got full control of that 2-flag side of the map. And actually, I think they've recognized that early on in the piece here as well. Moore was having a bit of a peek up towards the 1 flag, but immediately he starts to rotate off. And Team Efficiency right now, I think they're going to start putting some pressure on that cap early on in the piece and try and force the hand of EL Gaming. So they're being a little bit more decisive than what we saw them doing on Prokhorovka. On Proc, they just didn't do anything. But here for Team Efficiency now, they've come out, they've used that mobility, they've taken map control early on, and now it's up to EL Gaming to respond to this.
Yeah, and look, if Team Efficiency go in here, then they're going to be fighting what is essentially a 4v7 with, the 7 on their side. So EL Gaming, they're still rotating through that town with Quiet, Hardliner, and Black, and this could work out for Team Efficiency. They've also got 2 members on the cap. Moore and another one of those Batchats. It's going to be Skell in the Batchat AP on there. But look, Moore's coming out, and seeming like those guys down in the town from EL Gaming, they're starting to put some damage onto Bohan.
Bohan's in a really dangerous position here, and it was always going to be the case. I mean, Team Efficiency, they needed to be more aware of that rotation through the town from EL Gaming. Now, admittedly, it hasn't worked out too badly. They've actually been able to do quite a lot of damage back over to EL Gaming, but it does still seem like they're losing these trades right now, and their only real advantage is the fact that they've got Skell still on that cap, still ticking away that cap timer, but Black's all the way bound behind. He should get easy resets right now, unless he gets taken down. There's a 1-for-1 trade. Bohan goes down. Rattlesnake picking that kill up, but we also saw Principal get dropped, so overall still pretty even at this point. Team Efficiency with a slight health advantage. They'll take down Black here as well. Skell getting that kill, and still no reset on that timer. Skell has got a lot of cap timer on him. It should be a reset here for the 113 of Hardliner. But overall, Team Efficiency, they're doing very, very well, and this is the attacking side of Runeberg as well, remember. A very difficult side to win on.
Well, look, it's looking like they will be heading in towards that direction in terms of winning. But look, Skell, they're only 1 shot left, and we can see he's going to be ducking behind the building.
Once JT's off the reload here, it should be Team Efficiency being able to clean this one up, because he'll be able to take down Hardliner, no problems at all. Skell, he can get 1 more shot in here just to reload now, and here comes JT. This should be an easy cleanup for him. So the kill should come out. Actually, it's more to pick that one up. Even better, it allows JT to have 4 shots left in that clip. He can easily deal with the Mouse now. Obviously, he can't clip him out. He doesn't have quite enough damage, but Granovsky, he just needs to get 1, or probably 2 shots into that Mouse, and JT should be able to clean things up. He does take down Quiet. It's 1 versus 3. There's no way a Mouse wins this situation.
Exactly. Perfect. Well played there by Team Efficiency. And that's what happens when they're decisive. Just like that, they took control of that 2-flag town instantly. And that is, what those Batchat APs that are good for. So they really used their tanks to their advantage. Very good to see decisive play, and it's great to see Team Efficiency really. This is the mental reset that they need.
Yes, this absolutely is, exactly. They needed to change things straight away on Runeberg and to come out and win the attacking side as well. I think that's exactly what they need. They could come out here in 2-0 this one now, and that's actually the first time that Team Efficiency has been able to defeat EL Gaming on Runeberg this season. Just before that, it was 5-0 in the favor of EL Gaming, and so that's a big turnaround for Team Efficiency as far as I'm concerned.
Night and day performances out of Team Efficiency right there, and that, like you said, Alex, that's the mental reset they need. They can get themselves back into the series. They've got to be feeling confident after such a win. We were looking at the tank picks, and you weren't too convinced that was a way of...
Yeah, exactly, because I see Batchat APs time and time again on Runeberg, right? Lots of teams pick them, and lots of teams, they play them as if they're, like a 113 or like a tier 10 Batchat, and they're not. The only thing they really have is that that mobility that you need to use. Team Efficiency used that really, really well, and they were able to get into a fight which suited the bad APs in that they were essentially 4-on-7ing in that early stage before those 3 EL Gaming members rotated through and actually were able to contribute to the fight. And those EL Gaming members, they started putting all of their damage onto that mouse of Team Efficiency, and then he was just able to come around the corner, and all of that damage was not wasted, but you would have much rather taken down a couple of bat chats than, put in X amount of clips into a mouse.
Yeah, after seeing that game, do you think Team Efficiency finally back into the groove here, Nomad?
Yeah, I think for sure. I mean, if you look at them now, look how fired up they are. Like, all the energy's just come back into them
Safi
straight
was
away.
looking quite happy.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that game there was really well done by Team Efficiency. I mean, they dictated the pace of the battle. They forced EL back on the back foot, forced them to react, and they made mistakes.
It's like Jordan said, this isn't just a big win to get themselves back on track. This is the first time they've beaten EL on the attacking side of Ruinberg.
Any side of Ruinberg.
Any side of Ruinberg. That's going to be a huge boost to the confidence coming through here. So when we saw a bunch of those bat shots coming out here, Chippy, what was your initial thoughts?
Well, yesterday, Karen Tiger tried a similar strat with their Batchat APs. They pushed them down the south along the roadside there. It wasn't really good because they just tried for the long-distance snipes.
Yeah.
They weren't aggressive, and then obviously they were forced to rotate. But with TE, they were aggressive. They were in the cap. They were forcing EL to sort of do something, which was what we wanted to see on Ruinberg. This map. But yeah, that's what we wanted to see. We wanted to see TE taking control of the map and forcing Elong to respond. And in the last 2 games, we didn't really see that. We saw them sitting back, slowly, methodically getting in their own heads and thinking the right things, but they weren't aggressive enough.
Yeah, not acting on the right course here. So it's great to see them have a little bit of initiative shown on Ruinberg here coming into the second half. The defensive side, do we expect to see them go for something as aggressive, Jordan, or maybe they're just going to play it back to standard?
They won't play as aggressive, obviously being on the defensive side. I don't think they're going to be picking that many bat chats. If we're going to be seeing auto loaders, maybe there will be one bat chat, but definitely I'm thinking 50Bs are the way to go here for Team Efficiency. They have some very good 50B users, so that would be my choice. Put a couple of mouse in there, maybe stick Bohan, JT in a mouse, and see where you can go from there. But I definitely think it's going to be a little bit more of a heavy-oriented lineup here for Team Efficiency on the defense than what we saw there on the attack. And hopefully that's going to work out for them and they can equalize this to a piece.
Yeah. We saw EL going down their first round here. Do you think they're going to be going for something maybe on par with what Team Efficiency did here on the attack, Alex?
Well, look, what EL did there is actually very classic standard EL Gaming Ruinberg defense, right? You can look through all of their replays and they're always going to be rotating through the city, with a few of their tanks from the one flag and doing that bit of a slower rotate rather than just pushing all of their tanks past the field. So that, to me, classic EL, and I think that maybe EL Gaming are so confident on Ruinberg with their strategies that they've just said, okay, well, we don't need to innovate on a map that we've never lost to Team Efficiency on, and they've kind of fallen back on that, and it hasn't worked. So I actually don't expect anything too crazy here from EL Gaming on the attack.
Yeah, once again, they fall victim to the classic predictability. You pretty much see these guys, they do the same strats every single time when they get an opportunity here, of course. Didn't work out for them on the defending side, but the attacking side, like you said, maybe going to go back to their predictable strategy again. Do you think Team Efficiency will know this, Chippy?
It's hard to think what EL might do this time, because after that round, they will definitely see that TE sort of countered their strats to begin with their defense, because they knew that they were going to rotate tanks through the city, and that takes time. And they pushed their advantage on the 2-cap there by pushing into the 50B and the other 113 there that were sitting there defending. So they might change it up, but I hope for Elong in their sake that in their competitive spirit they'll change it up and do something different to throw TE off.
Yeah, we definitely have identified EL as a little bit stubborn when it comes to changing it up, but definitely not afraid to if the time calls for it here. Now, going kind of on that tangent, Nomad, what would you like to see EL change up coming into the attack?
I think they got to get out of that mindset of, we've been through every possible scenario possible with the strat that we've come up with, and therefore no one can touch us. They need to break out of that mindset, and they need to do something different, maybe throw some bits of the playbook out the window and do something that T themselves might not expect, because right now T are relying on the fact that EL, they're being predictable.
Could be some great stuff coming through here, and as we're getting into the second half of Ruinberg, I'll hand it over to you, Jordan.
Yeah, EL Gaming, they're taking an M4043 on the attack of Ruinberg. Not so sure how I feel about that, but they did take the T92 when they played their last match
Yeah.
in Nuremberg. That, I think, was against Karen Tiger from memory, or Horseman. It was actually against
It can
Horseman.
work.
Well, I got to say, Alex, I don't think it did work.
No, it didn't.
And it can work, but do you think it will work here
No,
against Team Efficiency?
Not at all. I think it'll flop. But we'll have to wait and see. They are
will.
EL Gaming. I mean, the issue with it, right, is that the only times that Artie does work on the attack of Nuremberg is when the defending team is kind of silly enough to you know, just poke their tanks, poke those heavy tanks slowly just out of those houses near the 2 flag, or essentially poke them out of cover when they don't need to. Then, of course, an Artie can get a, you know, nice shot on towards them, but
Was that a blind shot onto Safi?
yes.
Okay.
So just a you know,
As you do.
clean blind shot onto Safi, as you do. Oh, another one almost hitting, yeah. Just principle things. But you know, one blind shot, that's not going to win it for EL Gaming.
Nope. It's a start, though. And there you go, Safi spotted out Principal. Another one goes just whizzing over Safi's head, but he'll be okay in this respect. So, Team Efficiency, they start off with a slight deficit, but really nothing to write home about here for EL Gaming. They probably don't even know that they've actually hit that shot, so it comes down to how EL Gaming is going to control the map here. They've got themselves at least enough map control for Fox TS in that Artie to get into a decent position now, and he's going to have to start looking for some shots.
Yep. Exactly. So that is exactly what he is doing. Going for a few blind shots now. Look, he's not in the safest of positions, but you know, it's good to be a little bit more forward, of course, when you're playing a little bit aggressively as Artie. That does mean that you do have a little bit of a higher chance to hit, being a little bit closer. But right there we do see Black and Rattlesnake spotted out by Skell. And look, that's brilliant play, because now Team Efficiency, they've got the lay of the land. They know that a couple of Mousers are heading down the bottom there. Obviously Mousers, you know, you don't move them halfway across the map in a split second. So Team Efficiency have a really good idea of what EL Gaming are doing right now.
Yep.
And that is going to be crucial. I think for EL, you know, they maybe over-relying a little bit on Fox TS in that artillery piece to get some shots. And that's the issue, right? When you pick the Artie on a map like this and you've only got, you know, bat chats as well, two bat chats to scout out for you, you know, it's not that easy to scout out when Team Efficiency are playing defensively like they should. But EL Gaming, they would really love a few spots on those heavies right now so that Fox TS can put in some work.
Still early days, though, for EL Gaming. I mean, only a few minutes gone. Only about 3 minutes gone now. So they have a lot of time left to play with. Fox TS still has a lot of opportunities to get some damage across. In fact, he's going to be off the reload very, very shortly. Still, none of those Team Efficiency tanks spotted out for him to shoot at, so he hasn't had anything really in the ways of opportunities just yet. But I like this from Team Efficiency. They haven't over-rotated.
Yep.
They've spotted out those couple of Mousers, which is fair enough, but they actually sent Safi over to the 1 flag in response to that. So this time, you know, Team Efficiency, they haven't committed too much to the 2 side of the map, and they've got options. They don't need to necessarily worry in that department. I mean,
Yeah.
Safi can rotate across very, very quickly. They rotated Party, I think it was, in the 113 that was already up towards that 1 flag, traded him out for Safi, so Safi can get back across a lot faster than a 113 can, and I think that's a good option, really, from Team Efficiency.
Safi did actually take another blind fire shot, so he's not really having a good day. Looks like EL Gaming, though, going to be making the push up here, maybe straight towards that 2 cap and straight towards the town above it. And I think that's a good move from EL if they can, you know, make it stick. Team Efficiency, though, they need to make sure that those Mousers can't get within, you know, face-hugging range of those buildings, because then any of that cover is...
Oh, now Skell's been spotted out. He's in a real tough position here. I don't think he survives much longer. Fox TS has a beat on him as well, and actually he reverses right into that shot. So Skell will be maybe echoing some of the thoughts he had about Opalisk earlier on this season, given that he's just gone down to another artillery. But overall, I mean, Team Efficiency, they're still getting some damage out here. It's a big loss for them, though.
Yeah, it's not good to lose that T-54 lightweight. You know, Fox TS putting in a little bit of work there. I don't think that was a particularly impactful kill, as any of those EL Gaming tanks probably could have finished off that Mr. Skell. And right now, EL Gaming, the issue for them is that they haven't gained that much ground, really. CS going to be trying for a shot on towards Bohan. They're not going to be hitting it if Bohan stays.
I don't think it's too big of a deal right now for EL Gaming, to be honest. Like, they have a lot of time left to play with still, and they've already taken down the scout tank for Team Efficiency. So they have a lot of options now. They can go over to that 2 flag. They could rotate a couple of the tanks up towards the 1 flag, and they have plenty of time to play with right now. That's a good shot.
772. Good shot. Yeah, Bohan's not going to be too happy about that one, but ricochets another 2, so I think that's what he's looking for. And interesting that Team Efficiency, they'll actually push back from this little town here near the 2 flag, and I'm not too sure if I like that. I feel as though they potentially could have still held that against EL Gaming, but now they're just kind of giving them that portion of the map essentially for free by pushing back there. Still, the time is ticking, less than 5 minutes to go, so EL Gaming here maybe have to start thinking about the clock, although with this little bit of pressure added from Black getting on towards the cap, I'm liking this play so far from EL.
Yeah, I think they need to get on that cap really and force Team Efficiency to do something here, because they're not going to win this by chasing Team Efficiency around the map. They're going to win this by getting on the cap, forcing a response from Team Efficiency and trying to get something done that way. 4 minutes left on the clock now. That timer, like you said, it is ticking down a little bit here for EL Gaming, and I wonder if Team Efficiency are now starting to think in their heads, oh, maybe we can play this timer out, guys. We've got a lot of HP still left on the pool. If we can take out maybe a couple of those lighter, faster tanks from EL Gaming, maybe they can't catch us later on.
Uh-oh, this isn't good. This isn't good for Team Efficiency. They've got a 113 and a bat chat pushing into 2 bat chats that are on full HP.
And with full clips loaded.
And with full clips loaded, exactly.
They've got no idea either.
Oh, a good shot from Fox TS. Yeah, it's like, that's why I didn't really like those heavy tanks pushing all the way back there. And suddenly, oh no.
Oh,
yeah.
No, he's not. He's going
Moore
to
is
be
in
okay for the
trouble.
moment, but Moore is the exactly. This is what EL Gaming needs to be. What? Did they just bounce 2 shells? No, they bounced 1 shell off Safi. So he survives a little bit longer than maybe he should have, but in the end, EL Gaming will be happy with that trade. They should even have enough damage to deal with Moore here. Nice has got the last shot, and there we go. So that's a really, really nice passage of play from EL Gaming.
2 for none.
Exactly. That's a magnificent. That's what they needed, and they should win from here on out.
Yep. Should be a pretty simple win here from EL. Another RD shell probably going to be sinking its teeth into Bohan's sides on that mouse there. Yep. Oh, maybe not. Maybe hit a roof of a building somewhere, but not to worry. EL Gaming, I think they've still got 7 tanks left. They're not going to be too worried about that. JT's just about to fall as well in that FV215B. And then there was 3 for Team Efficiency.
Yeah, only 3. The 3 Musketeers may be remaining here for Team Efficiency right now. Gronowski in his 50B, he's got a full clip, but he's just fired off 2 shells and not done any damage now. Finally getting one into Hardliner, connects the second as well, but that's not enough. He needed to get all of those shots in so that he could take down Hardliner. At the end of the day, though, would it really have made a difference to the result of this one on Runeberg? I doubt it. Team Efficiency, they looked so good on the attack, and then again, they just looked so poor on the defense. I think it's really when Team Efficiency is the one controlling the way of the game, controlling the speed and controlling the play of the game, that's when they're going to start to look a bit better. But they just allowed EL Gaming to dictate the pace of the game there. They lost Skell early on, and they were always fighting from behind, and they just weren't able to pull it off.
Yeah, exactly. So at least they do manage to get a consolation prize of 1 kill, but Gronowski is 1 shot from death, and EL Gaming will be able to finish him off pretty quickly after that one. And yeah, like a few errors there from Team Efficiency, like that two tank push in towards the 1 flag when, you know, they didn't have any eyes on those 2 bat chats. The 2 bat chats from EL Gaming could very well have been exactly where they were, waiting to spring that trap on them. That's exactly what they did. And again, I don't like the idea that Team Efficiency enacted there of pushing back from the front end of the 2 flag when they still had pretty much all of their tanks up, all of their heavy tanks. So, yeah, just not a fan of that one from Team Efficiency.
A very solid win coming out of EL. Once again, they're going to be taking the scoreline up to 3-1 at the moment. And I don't know, maybe we're seeing something similar to how Horseman played. They show us one amazing round and then a completely polar opposite the next time. Again, Team Efficiency just missed the mark on that defense.
Yeah, look, I think they really struggled there with trying to dictate the pace of the game. EL did a really good job there in terms of just forcing Team Efficiency into a corner and then not really being able to react properly. I mean, Fox TS, he was putting in some magnificent shots in there into T, and I think he was a pretty big factor in contributing to T's loss there, as well as Skell, you know, getting RD'd out of that bush real early in the game as well. I mean, he was doing some good spotting damage before, but you know, after that, they really lost the eyes there.
So Chippy, if you're on Team Efficiency right there and everything's just going wrong, you know, the RD's just picking off your players, putting in damage where it can, how do you take control of a game in that scenario?
With that in mind, if you think the game's obviously far too gone and you probably have that feeling that you might lose, you can use that time that obviously you've got there for the rest of the game. You can draw it out and look at the next map. You can sit there and think, what are we going to do next? In that case, that would be a good use of time, because it in some cases, you obviously after Skell was lost, that kind of like vision control in the north, they couldn't get the damage out, like hopefully onto Elong as they push towards the 2-cap. And then the rotation was a good idea, but obviously they had no idea that the Batchats were sitting there waiting.
Yeah, that's a great point. Just too far gone once they'd lost their main vision control here, and unfortunately for team efficiency, that's just how it went down. EL looking really strong on the second half of Rosenberg, but we're coming into Muravanka up here, and Jordan, this is one of the maps that you thought that team efficiency would have a great chance on.
Actually, no, that's the wrong.
Sorry.
I thought EL Gaming would have a very good chance on. I thought EL Gaming may be able to 2-0 Ruenberg. Wasn't the case. At this point, actually, we are, in terms of the scoreline, where I thought we would be. I thought we'd be at 3-1, but I thought Team Efficiency would get one on Prokhorovka.
Yeah.
Muravanka, I said I thought would be a 2-0 for EL Gaming. I'm still going to stand by that. I think they're looking like the better side tonight. And if they 2-0 that one, I mean, Team Efficiency, it's a really tough ask for them to come back. Admittedly, after Muravanka, we have Ghost Town and Cliff, both of which are maps we've seen Team Efficiency 2-0 EL Gaming on. So there is potential for them to come back late into the series. But to go into sort of that much of a deficit early on is going to be really tough for Team Efficiency. So I think it's key that they get at least one here, particularly given that it's their map pick. So they need to have something up their sleeve here and justify that map pick.
Yeah, that's a great point here. And then coming into them picking Muravanka, especially how well we saw, how well we have seen EL do in the past. Obviously, they did lose that one round to Horseman yesterday, so maybe they're not out of the woods yet. Maybe there is still hope for EL, Team Efficiency to go 1-1 with EL on Muravanka. But of course, after Mura, they do have that 10-minute kind of break time to regain their head. So if they end up going down 5-1 in the series, they can at least reset.
Yeah, well, they're going to need to be having a big reset if they're down 5-1.
Yeah.
We did see sort of a mini reset between Prokhorovka and Ruenberg where Team Efficiency came out and they absolutely smashed that first half of Ruenberg. And I wonder if we'll get another sort of similar situation here. Now we get a bit of a break between Ruenberg and Muravanka. And is Team Efficiency just going to come into this one and wipe the floor with EL Gaming on the first half of Muro? Have to see.
Yeah, and I mean, that's, look, we could see that Granovsky at least did a little bit of damage from Team Efficiency, Bohan in that mouse a little bit as well, but definitely an EL Gaming story there. And that's the other thing which we didn't really touch on, but Team Efficiency picking the FE215B, and it's kind of a meltdown pick for the defense on Ruenberg, and I'm actually not a big fan of it. I think we saw it there. Not really doing that much, as is reflected on the scoreboard. You know, it's kind of like, in my eyes, there's not much point picking an FE215B now that the mouse is there. You know, the mouse is, it's got the DPM, it's got a decent enough gun, you know, and it's got 3200 HP and nigh on impenetrable armor from the front. So
I could see you nodding in agreement there, Nomad. What would you have preferred to see than the FE4?
Probably another Mouse, to be honest. If anything, I mean, just because you're on that defending side, you've got some really good angles in those buildings to side scrape off of. I mean, like, look, JT only put out like 12 shots fired and 1 shot pen.
Exactly.
I mean, what can he do against all those Mouses? I mean, with that gun, I mean, it's a bit obsoleted now in the current meta. And even Safi having a little bit of trouble in the Batchet. I mean, granted, he was blind fired out of the game pretty early on, and even then Party in the one with 3-0 damage. That's rough.
And Chippy, I'm going to give you the hard job of trying to rationalize why they picked it.
The FE215B has been a mainstay in the APAC region. And it's because it's got really good APCR penetration and really good DPM, and the shell velocity is also good. But with the introduction of the mice buffs, one might say that it's a little overpowered at the moment. And yeah, as you guys have said, the mouse can easily replace them in that kind of situation. It's also even better against artillery because of the superstructure and such. So
and also the FE215B, you bring up the penetration, and it's got kind of average penetration, but actually 326 with the gold rounds, which is, I think, on average 4 millimeters lower than most of the other tier 10 tanks that we see picked. Obviously not the Batchats, you know, that's going to have a little bit lower, and your AMX 50Bs, but it's definitely not. It doesn't go through stuff like a hot knife through butter. You know, you really have to work the 215B to make it go through stuff, even with that nice accuracy. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of it versus the mouse, or even a 113. Honestly, like if you want a damage focused or a slightly more damage focused tier 10 that's a little bit more versatile than the 113 is good. But here we go. Hello.
Frank Walker from National Tiles? No. SU14 from Team Efficiency. They saw this yesterday against Karen Tiger, and they basically...
Well, I don't understand.
They did win it against it. I think the strategy worked okay. I'm a bit perplexed to see Team Efficiency picking this up, but maybe this is something that they actually just had been practicing.
I don't. Well, actually, you know what? They might have seen it in Karen Tiger in like one of their scrims or something like that.
Maybe.
And
Maybe it could just be coincidence that they've kind of come into it with the same sort of idea that Karen Tiger came into. I don't know. But we'll see how this works for Team Efficiency. We do know that Wargaming sometimes does struggle against some of these different strategies. So maybe there is something in it here for Team Efficiency.
The Wargaming struggle against different strategies if the different strategies are good, like mine. But yeah, here, Skell's actually setting up to fire, which is a little bit strange in A3. That's not the position that you want to be if you want to be pushing onto the 2 flag.
That's true.
Which is interesting. I mean, look, the SU-14 too, it's not a brilliant arty in terms of all the tier 8s, particularly because I think the gun arc, from memory, it's been a while since I played mine, but gun arc is not amazing.
We'll see how Skell's going to make this work. Team Efficiency very quickly taking control of the Magic Forest. Gosh, forgetting my words for a moment there. You know, it may also be a case that Team Efficiency have just taken this SU-14 to make Wargaming, or force Wargaming to set up in the situation that they have set up, and it's kind of just like a bit of a fake out almost, like what we saw the CDC sometimes from Meltdown, because it doesn't seem as though Skell is putting himself on the flag at all, and Wargaming have essentially set up for a 2 flag defense. Team Efficiency now easily able to get onto the 1 flag.
Yeah, well, actually, you know what? I like this, and Muravanka, it is actually one of the maps that you can put a artillery piece like the SU-14 too, and maybe actually have it work, because the SU-14 too, it's only got 4 degrees of gun arc, you know, left or right, compared to the 15 of the Lorraine that we're used to seeing. But at the end of the day, on Muravanka, there's always going to be someone down the 1-2 line, so you know it should have something to fire at. Right now, though, Team Efficiency, a little bit surprised that maybe they got off the cap so early. I think it feels like they could have maybe put a little bit more pressure on by staying there. But, you know, at the end of the day, they haven't sacrificed any health so far. Black spotted out there in that 113, does get D-spotted finally.
Yeah, I would have really liked to see Team Efficiency actually on that cap and really committing to it, because I think they could have taken definitely some favourable trades there against Wargaming. Would have been Principal having to come around to get the reset there. And I think it could have put a lot of pressure onto Wargaming. But not the case here. So Team Efficiency, what they do gain out of that is some map control. They've got their mouses in quite far forward. Bohan very, very far down. And now we need just to see them make this one work.
Oh, don't fire it yet, Skell. Don't fire it yet. Don't fire it yet. Don't fire it yet. And fire. Yep. Beautiful. 602. That's nice.
Good start.
Well, the gun on the SU-14 too isn't bad.
Might be the first amount of damage the SU-14 has actually
done. It is. That is the first point of damage that the SU-14 has done this season. And not bad at all.
Congratulations, Skell. At least you win something.
Exactly. But look, Black there, he's actually spotted out in his heavy tank quiet at the bottom, spotted out in the STB. This isn't great, because normally we see, you know, teams actually gear up for a 1 flag defense. When you set up for a 1 flag defense, you know, it's not that difficult to get the reset, but all of Wargaming, they rotated back.
Black's taken a big amount of damage there as well. I presume it would probably have been Safi that was dealing that, and he's going to back out wisely, I think, there as well. So he'll have to probably reload here. Another bit of damage comes out from Skell. Not quite as impactful as the last, but every little bit counts here. And now JT, he looks like he wants to go in for a trade here. More actually on the reload, so it must have been more that did the majority of the damage over there to Black. Still, though, good start for Team Efficiency, and they're being able to get some damage across as we speak right now. Some trades coming out from Wargaming, but if Team Efficiency trades equally from this point on, they win.
Yeah.
And they're in the favourable position.
Oh, Bohan, though, taking a lot of damage from somewhere. Maybe those Wargaming guys out near the forest. That's not ideal for him.
That must have been it. I think that was a little bit of a misplay, really, from Bohan.
Yeah.
He should have recognised, or I don't know, maybe the comms weren't great for Team Efficiency. The bat chats didn't say we're backing out of the forest, but whatever the case was, he should have been back down a little bit faster than what he was. Good amount of damage. Nice. Now JT can finish off Principal, assuming he gets a connecting shot in here, but it does look like it's actually maybe going to be more on Safi to push forward. In the end, JT does take that kill onto Principal, and now what can Granovsky, Safi, and more do in their bat chats?
Oh, well, let's find out. They've got lots of clips loaded, lots of shells loaded in that clip, and they're going to be coming around to the bottom of the map, finding Quiet there, and that STB1.
I feel as though Safi maybe could have saved Granovsky there if he had have just driven in front of Quiet, but wasn't the case, and Team Efficiency do lose a bat chat, but still, it's an okay trade for them. 1-for-1 at this point is not too bad, but
FoxDS has not had much of an impact here. Look at this.
I'm not sure I like the positioning, though, here from Team Efficiency right now, because you can see Nice in the 1390. He's gotten around behind Skell. This is a free kill for him. That's going to really sort of stop the pressure from Team Efficiency. Like, they can't get on that 1 flag very easily now, because it should be easy resets from Nice coming in from behind. They're kind of encircled right now by EL Gaming.
Yeah, this isn't ideal, particularly because they only have those 2 bat chats left, one of them being one shot from death and both on the reload, so it's not ideal. And of course, it would have been nice if Skell in that SU-14 to have put an 1800 damage shot into Fox TS, who's actually was spotted for a second there, I believe. But right now, team efficiency, look, they're in the Mousers. They're not in a bad position. It is hard
They're
for...
losing a lot of HP, though. They really need to start trading back a little bit more efficiently than what they are. Fox TS, he needs to go down here 100%, and Safi must survive. He does survive that shot, and he will not be able to survive anymore. One more shot is what he needs on Fox TS, and he'll connect that as well. So some favourable RNG rules, I think, for Safi there as well, allowing him to connect those shots into the STRV. Not always easy to hit shots when you're on the move in a bat chat, but he gets the job done, and that's crucial for team efficiency, allowing them to have a tank advantage, and they need to make that work. Safi needs to reload, Moore needs to reload, and they just need to hope against hope that EL Gaming aren't going to be able to take out these low HP targets.
Yeah, Party's playing a little bit aggressively, but does manage to ding that shot from Rattlesnake, and will that let him get a shot onto Nice? No, but that was a good aim. Unfortunately, he didn't get that one, but I'm liking this for team efficiency right now. They have still got those 2 bat chats up. More not going to be going for the reload just yet, and Party's just doing a fantastic job here absorbing all of those shells. And particularly this late stage of the game, one shell from a bat chat like Hardliner, it does make a pretty big difference, particularly when it adds up. You know, now he only has 2 shells left in that clip. That's only, 800 or so damage.
Well, efficiency, they're on the attack as well, and that's the problem for them. Is if they were on the defense here, they might have a little bit of a better chance, but on the attack, they are the ones that need to make the moves here, and I just don't know what the move is. I suppose the 1 flag is probably the best option. It offers a little bit more cover, and it will force EL Gaming to come to them. I don't think the 2 flag is the right option at this point, and team efficiency recognizing that as well. Would have been easy kills for EL Gaming had they gone to that 2 flag, and God, they have to hope that Bohan's going to be able to get something done here. You know, he's going to be a one-shot for some of the tanks here on the field for EL Gaming. But if he can maybe bounce 1 or 2 shells, survive a little bit longer, allow Safi and Moore a little bit of extra time to maneuver, maybe there's something in it here for team efficiency, but I'm still thinking this one squarely sits in the favour of EL Gaming.
Look, it's looking good for EL, and I think those bat chats, whether they can get a few shots off before dying, that is going to be the key. Because, if they can take out Hardliner, then it's not looking too bad for team efficiency, because I think they'll be able to deal with the Mouse and the 113.
Okay,
Oh, splash.
it's a reset from Rattlesnake in the Mouse, but he doesn't get the reset on Bohan, and that's Black's job at this point, but not an easy shot.
No, doesn't get it.
Tries to go for the tracking shot. I think he actually did get that.
Oh, the reset, yeah.
Yeah, he got the reset. So he got the tracking shot, which is what's reset the cap there. Party now situating himself a little bit in front of these 2 Mouses as well. Rattlesnake, he should pen that shot, and he does. Oh, no, HE. He's trying to just get the resets here, which is fair enough, but it is allowing team efficiency actually to trade favorably.
Yeah,
Safi takes down
like
Hardliner. That's actually a lot of map control now available for team efficiency, and Nice, he could be the crucial player here if this shot connects, and it does. Safi's not going to be able to do anything here. He's on the move, and Nice, he's come up absolutely massive in that 1390, taking down both of the bat chats. EL Gaming now, they're poised to pick up the victory, and I don't think team efficiency can come back from this one. That was absolutely sublime from Nice.
Yeah, brilliant play there from Nice. And look, with Bohan's damaged ammo rack there, there's just not enough time for team efficiency to take out those remaining tanks. Nice, he can just run away all day long, and that is going to be it for team efficiency here on this first half of Muravanka. I tell you what, they gave it a good crack here, Jordan, but yeah, EL Gaming just again proving a little bit too strong, and I feel as though those bat chats, they could have been the secret, but that was quite funny.
I think Nice deserves that. He deserves to have a bit of fun at the end of that. Yeah, team efficiency, they had a chance in that one, and they weren't able to convert it. EL Gaming just proving a little bit too strong, and now 4-1 in the favour of EL Gaming. It's a tough mountain to climb for team efficiency from here on out.
Yeah, a very tough mountain. Look, I mean, you got to feel for team efficiency there. They've come close in that one, and Nice, not only did he make that crucial play at the end, but he was also the one that made the nice flank onto Skell in that SU-14. So, managing to take him out, that was actually a pretty big factor, because I feel as though if Skell had stayed alive for another, minute or 2 in that battle, then that could have been a lot more damage going there for team efficiency.
Yeah, what a nail-biting finish that one came down to. It's too close to call at one stage when T had the tank advantage. You think, hey, maybe they've taken this one away, but Like you said, nice getting so many of those clutch kills in the end of the round there. And realistically, what we saw yesterday, Karen Tiger, they used the SU-14-2 as a shield strat. That's kind of what we expected rolling into Muro coming out of Team Efficiency. Having seen that yesterday, we know those two teams are quite close to each other. But instead, it kind of felt like to me it was when Meltdown picked the CDC on Rulenberg.
Yeah, look, I think it was a little bit of bait and switch sort of tactics there. Sort of, you know, EL's probably thinking, oh, they brought the SC-14-2. They're probably going to try 2-cap. And he saw that EL initially, they did have quite a strong presence in the Magic Forest over onto the 2-cap to defend it. And, you know, TE, they kind of threw him for a little bit of a bait there. And, you know, Skell, you know, he actually managed to do some damage in the SC-14-2 for a change, which was pretty good. But ultimately, I think they lost a bit in terms of the trades and in terms of the map control because, you know, they ended up stopping spawns almost at the end of that. And, you know, what can you do? You know, had some pretty nice moves there at the end.
Yeah, we saw some great stuff at the start with Team Efficiency, but I think it was Bohan making a very crucial mistake in the mid game. His mouse got dropped about, what, 2,000 health just out of nowhere? What happened there, do you think, Chippy?
It looked like that Eolong got their Batchats in the middle. I think it was Hardliner and I'm sure the other one, the Batchat, but he may have been rotating his tank towards probably the mouse, Rattlesnake maybe, and they just got those clear shots into the side. And when two Batchats are unloading into your flat side, there's not much you can bounce, especially with the heat rounds that Elong's probably putting into the sides there. But yeah, I like the mind games out of TE there. They did the sort of bait and switch with the SU-14-2. I think if they capitalized that on a bit earlier, then it could have gone more in their favor. But yeah, obviously with the mice, it's sort of the slow move into the 2-cap area. Yeah, if they'd gotten that one mouse that was sort of sitting there a bit longer, then they may have probably pulled it off a bit better.
Yeah, look, I think it would have been really nice to have seen Team Efficiency actually even put 3 tanks in towards that one flag and push them up. Maybe Team Efficiency didn't expect EL to, you know, rotate so heavily towards that 2 flag like they did, but either way, a little bit disappointing.
And here as well, I think the bit where Granovsky might have gone down, like Safi probably could have driven in front of Granovsky there and I think saved his life. That could have been really crucial.
Could have, yeah, another tank on the field absolutely could have been crucial.
Oh yeah, at the end there, it was pretty much so many tanks on Team Efficiency alive and no health. And this is nice, getting himself that nice double kill.
How long you have to aim in the 1390 to make it work. Like, it's such a frustrating tank to play sometimes. And nice, maybe he's a little bit lucky that both of those shots go where he wants them to, but yeah, a very nice play from him.
He's here for a reason, Jordan.
Yeah.
One of the best players in our region. Of course, Rattlesnake, once again, back on top of the damage dealt charts here in the mouse. He was doing work for his team. And you said Fox weren't a fan of his position, but he was still able to output a good amount of damage before he went down.
Yeah, a little bit there. I mean, 2.7k, it's you know, okay, about the same as JT. At the end of the day, an STRV that survives for as long as Fox TS did will always put out a bit of damage.
Yeah.
So not surprising there. I'm interested to see how much damage the SU-14-2 of Skell did, and 1538. I don't think you can complain about that one.
Oh, Granovsky not getting a single point of damage on the board there. He was just caught out, and like you said, Safi not able to play body blocker that time around. But now, 4-1, favoring EL Gaming. This is looking grim for Team Efficiency right now. They need to at least go 1-1 to avoid staring down the barrel at that halftime.
Yeah, look, I think it's pretty telling you when you got, you know, what are meant to be some of your more consistent damage deals like Granovsky doing 0 damage in such a critical match. And I think it's going to be hard to reset coming into these next sort of series of games, especially when you have that knowledge that you were the weak link on that, and especially last game as well, you know, party, 0 damage. So it's rough. It's tough to stay in the game mentality-wise and to really keep your morale up and to still perform. So I think yeah, Granovsky's going to really need to reset there. I think the rest of T as well, especially. Yeah,
once again, Safi just trying to keep the troops motivated and get them going. Because, like you said, it can feel bad when you look at those post-damage shots. I didn't get a single point damage. I shot 5 shells, didn't connect with anything, went down. Obviously, Safi could have protected him. Maybe he would have been able to do something more, but that's not how that story unfolded here. So he's got to be feeling a little bit down on himself, especially looking at EL sitting across from them. 4-1 advantage at the moment. And there's only one series in this. This is if they lose, they're out. They're done. Second place. That's not what they came here to do.
Yeah, there's no second chances here for Team Efficiency. And Yeah, this is pretty much their last chance. I feel they need to get this second half on Muravanka because 5-1, there's just no coming back from that. You can't tell me that Ghost Town and Cliff are going to be 2-0s in the favor of team efficiency.
No.
I just don't see it being 4-0 after this to equalize things. And then even Himmelsdorf, like Wargaming's so strong on that map too. So I think they need at least that extra round buffer, then hope against hope that they can get the majority of those rounds coming out in the 4th and 5th maps here. But team efficiency have really put themselves in such a big hole, and it's going to be really tough to dig themselves out of. I hope that they brought a lot of spades over to Taiwan.
Look, it's really all gone wrong for team efficiency right now. And normally I would think, okay, maybe Ghost Town, we've seen EL kind of struggle a little bit to regain their dominant self, but they're the ones that picked this in the draft here. So I think they're very confident with how their Ghost Town play is looking.
Yeah, look, I mean, Ghost Town, obviously they are confident, that's why they picked it, but really, like, Wargaming, I still feel aren't the best team on Ghost Town. They still do a few weird things every now and again, so I think this is where team efficiency could, you know, potentially come back once we head on to Ghost Town and maybe even get a 2-0, but of course, Muravanka there, after looking at that last half, like, you can just see that Wargaming, they're not, you know, they're not letting anything go. They are really on point. They're you know, communicating well. They're rotating fast. They're just really synergetic at the moment.
Well, here's the thing, right? If you contrast Season 1 EL to Season 2 EL and just how dominant Season 1 was compared to Season 2, they attribute that to lack of training. So coming into a finals, I imagine they did nothing but so. Could this mean that Wargaming are back on form here?
Yeah, which you've definitely seen that they've brought in, and obviously Rattlesnake, they've come very prepared to these finals. And every time we see EL in finals or just in the season, they're always just in that mindset of just, we need to win this, we need to get ahead, we need to show we're dominant.
Yeah.
And that's obviously brought through into the finals. I want to see TE come back with that sort of aggressive plays that they did on the first map attacking round of Nuremberg, because that's the kind of thing that throws EL off. And hopefully we'll see that next map.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing. Yesterday we had a look at some of the weaknesses that we outlined for EL, but it doesn't seem like any of them are actually coming through here. Rattlesnake's playing amazing. They're playing their same old strats and teams aren't countering them. But as we're getting into our second half of Mura, I would like to see team efficiency take some initiative once again.
Now on the defensive side, maybe things going to be a little bit easier for them here. They do have the 1390 there for Skell, so he's probably going to plop himself down in a bush over by the 2 flag. But they haven't played that much Muravanka this season, so I don't really feel comfortable saying that they're going to be able to pull off a 1-1 here.
Well, look, it'll be interesting to see what happens. It may do. We've got the Object 432 on Wargaming side. I actually really like that. It's a nice tier 9 medium, obviously with that kind of funky turret at the back of the tank. Decent sort of turret armor as well as pretty decent DPM. Tank to have just as a constant damage dealing tier 9, and it also means that they can have another batch at AP. I actually prefer that, I think, over the double batch at APs. The Object 432 does have a 60% win rate so far this season as well, which is nothing to sneeze at. Team efficiency, quite a 2 flag focused defense here. They've got no one really apart from Skell on that 1 flag. But, that hasn't worked out too well because JT's just been spotted.
Yeah. He's going to fall back here. So he's below the ridge, so he's safe for the moment, but he is quite, I suppose, isolated. Not isolated. There are tanks that can shoot in that direction from team efficiency, but he is kind of on his own, you know. Like, Wargaming could just rush in there and take him down, and it's going to be really down to mostly Safi and Moore here as well, potentially Party. Oh, Granovsky's in there as well. So those guys, they need to actually get those shots in. Should JT get rushed down here, they need to make sure that they hit their shots. They cannot be missing in those bat chats, because it will be utterly crucial. That's the exact same situation we saw on Prokhorovka, where Moore was kind of in a sort of a bait position. It brought EL in there, they took him down, and Team Efficiency didn't make their shots work. This time, though, Team Efficiency need to ensure that they do that, and they cannot be allowing these trades to go the way of Wargaming unanswered.
Yeah, there we go. And Granovsky's just been spotted. That is not good at all. What is he doing? Oh, he's dying. Okay, well, that's really not good for team efficiency. I don't know what Granovsky was thinking there, because Party had just been spotted.
This has all gone wrong.
This has all gone wrong. This is pushing into the Magic Forest. It never works. This is just like watching a bit of a pub game where your team just like slowly pushes towards a Magic Forest, and then some of the really aggressive guys drive in front of everyone else and just die.
I just don't think this is the correct setup for team efficiency. It just doesn't seem to be working out for them at all. Like, they've only just now done some damage over to EL Gaming after having lost, like, what, they started on 12,000 HP or 14,000 HP, something like that. It's a ridiculous trade in the favor of EL Gaming, and I just don't think, well, there's no way team efficiency comes back from this. They need to sort of put this one behind them and think, look, guys, I mean, Muravanka, Rurenberg, they weren't our maps. Prokhorovka, they weren't our maps. Look, we just turned things around here in the second half. I think it is still favorable for them to potentially close this one out relatively close. The map pool coming up is decent for team efficiency, but definitely the way that EL Gaming have come out and started off today, it's just complete and utter dominance. Far more than what we've seen from them against almost anyone else this season, and particularly against team efficiency, who every single time, well, with the exception of the 5-2 that happened late on in the season, like, EL Gaming have never, ever looked this dominant over team efficiency.
Yeah, no, they certainly haven't. And I mean, I'm just wondering what team efficiency's strategy was there, because we never see two flag defenses like that on Muravanka, and I think there's a reason we never see two flag defenses like that from Muravanka. There's no reason to try and sort of face up right next to the Magic Forest when your tanks are always going to be out in the open there. You know, you can just sit an AMX 1390 right near the 2 flag, get the spots, and have your tanks where Bohan and Skell are right now, and still get shots into any attackers pushing out on the Magic Forest. Like, doesn't make sense to me what team efficiency were thinking there. So I'm happy enough to put that down to just a bad strat from team efficiency. But yeah, when you lose out only having taken down 2 tanks, it's pretty rough.
Time for no more bad strats from team efficiency. They need epic strats coming out for the rest of this one, because there's no other way about it. If they continue to play like this, it's going to be 7-1.
Look, what is going on with team efficiency right now? They're really looking at all sorts, just struggling to find any advantages throughout any of the maps right now, and this is not the team efficiency that we saw throughout the season. Why have they come to Taiwan all this practice and they're just not showing up? They've got Ghost Town up next, of course, but Muravanka, even though we knew it was a heavily favored EL map, that was one of the worst displays I've seen out of team efficiency.
Yeah, that looked a little bit rough there. I think they got a little bit caught off guard there, trying to defend against maybe a 2 flag attack, because you know the object 432, you see that on Muravanka and you're instantly probably going to think he's probably going to go for a 2 flag cap, just because that's typically what you do with it. But they got caught out of position, and Granovsky especially, I feel really bad for him because he got caught out really early in the game. I don't think he had very much of an impact there, and that's 2 games in a row where he's really sort of had a
great point,
real tough one, and I think that's going to be weighing on him pretty badly there. But you know, I think the rest of them, I think tilt factor is starting to set in a little bit there. I think starting to make a few mistakes, and hopefully they shake that off and they really need to dig deep and come back.
Of course, going into our 10-minute hiatus in the mid-game series, allow the guys to go relax, catch their breath, maybe have some water, go to the toilet, all that jazz. This is where it's so important for team efficiency to huddle up, knuckle down, come back into this series and stronger. Going into Ghost Town here, Chippy, do you think this is a map that team efficiency can realistically 2-0?
They have a chance, I think. They just have to, as you said, regroup, rethink what their strategy is. They showed yesterday that they're pretty well at defending on that map. I think it was on the attack they may have lost against Karen Tiger. But yeah, there's potential there. They just need to continue with the idea that obviously keeping Elong off guard and keeping them, you know, guessing of what they're going to be doing next, because at the moment they seem to be obviously setting up for strats, and especially on that Muravanka game, they saw the 430 and then they thought, well, obviously it might be using the 2 cap, but you should have just left Scale out there to spot the cap, because in any of those bushes along that line, Elong would either have to sacrifice a tank to try and dig out their light tank, and then that would be a good trade if they kill the Bat Chat or they kill the 430 while he was trying to cap as well. And you can also just blind fire the cap as well from distance. So yeah, we just need to see them a bit more decisive and a bit more, you know, getting in there.
Yeah, obviously a lot of strain on their decision making right now. If that's 2 games that Granovsky is just been completely useless. He hasn't been able to get any impact on the game, and he's one of Team Efficiency's heavy hitters here. Now, obviously, we want to see them have a very competitive game here, but it's not shaping up to be that way. Of course, let's have a look on the other side. EL, they're ticking all the boxes right now. They're playing pretty much perfect. How do they just 2-0 Ghost Town and be done and dusted home in time for dinner, Alex?
Well, there is a chance that they could do that, isn't there? And with the way that they're playing, I mean, look, that is a very large and realistic possibility, I think. They looked okay on Ghost Town yesterday, I think. Previously, they've had some issues, particularly on the Ghost Town attack. I think they can come into Ghost Town and 2-0 it if they just do their... Well, if they just play like that, really, and if Team Efficiency gives them the game.
This is an abysmal post-battle stats for Team Efficiency right here, Jordan.
It's not very friendly, is it? I mean,
no.
You're never going to win a game where the 6 top damage dealers are on the opposing team, so Wargaming, they've definitely done a good job in that one. I want to go back to Granovsky there, and even JT as well. Like, they were looking really good yesterday, and they've been looking so good this season. They've been the most consistent players across the board, really, for Team Efficiency, but today, maybe the pressure's got to them. Maybe there's some sort of other factor coming in here. But those are the guys that we need to be seeing stepping up here in the final. They're the ones that have been taking Team T through to some of these really strong matches. And for two of the top players in the region, number 2 and number 3 in terms of the average damage dealt per game, not being able to perform here.
Look at that.
Granovsky 2-0 damage games in a row. Now, maybe he got unlucky. Maybe he got spotted out when he didn't expect to. But it's not an excuse. You cannot be doing 0 damage in a grand final against Wargaming, in a bat chat, in a tier 10 tank, as one of the top damage dealers for your team, and being expecting to win. It's just not going to happen.
It's quite perplexing to see 2 of the most consistent players in one of the most important game days of their life to come up and just completely whiff by every definition of the word here. So, I don't know. Is it too early? Is it too late to count them out? Do you think they still could come back in with a chance here, Jordan? Or
I think there is a chance. Yes, because the maps that, like, these last 3 maps are actually better maps for Team Efficiency.
That's true.
So far this season than they have been for Wargaming. When we've seen these two teams face each other, it's been 4-2 to Team Efficiency on Cliff.
Yep.
It's been 4-1 to Team Efficiency on Ghost Town. And it's been 4-1 to Team Efficiency on Himmelsdorf. So the past history of these last 3 maps, Ghost Town, Cliff, and Himmelsdorf, are favorable for Team Efficiency. And if there are 3 maps that they can bring it back on, it will be these 3 maps. But they absolutely need to turn things around straight away. They need to get a 2-0 on Ghost Town. They need to take that momentum through to Cliff and then absolutely smash Wargaming on Cliff as well.
Well, here's the thing, Elise. Here's the shining light I see for Team Efficiency right now is when the 5 of us were kind of theory crafting about the map picks, we looked at all the strong ones that the teams could kind of go even on and what we expected. Obviously, when the draft actually came through, it very heavily favored Wargaming coming into this. So realistically, there is still an opportunity with the upcoming maps that Team Efficiency can come through here. But you have to question, why were they so willing to fall behind this early, Jordan?
I don't know. I really don't know. I think it's a massive failure in terms of the map vetoes here from Team Efficiency. Maybe they were, maybe they were trying to sort of throw a curveball at EL, sort of unsettle them early on in the piece, give them something to think about, but it clearly hasn't worked out. And Team Efficiency, I have no idea why they picked Rurenberg and Muravanka. It clearly has not worked out very well for them at all. And maybe they just, I guess the other, I suppose, theory is they would have thought, okay, well, we get through those first 3 maps and then we can finish strong. But why are you having that argument when you can just start strong?
Yeah, I feel like in the way World of Tanks works, there is no reasonable reason to start.
Like if you go down 7-0, right?
Yeah.
You can't fall back on those last few maps.
No,
so you start
like right
off
now,
well.
5-1. They have to 2-0. They cannot lose 2 more rounds here, and so many of these maps can so easily go 1-1 apiece for either team here. So it makes no sense to want to get your weaker maps out of the way first. You want to get a good, strong start, gain some momentum, gain some confidence, heat yourself up, because obviously right now, JT and Granovsky, they're playing very cold right now. They're definitely not warmed up. You need those early rounds to get that confidence built.
I don't think anyone's warmed up on Team Efficiency right now. There's no one that's really stepping up and saying, look, guys, I'm here to carry the team. There's no one.
Safi was trying to. We saw in the...
yeah.
Obviously not in the game.
Exactly.
Not in the gameplay.
Well, that's the difference, right? If they're pumped up mentally wise, then sure, that's great, but you need to be able to convert that into the in-server battles, right? You can't be getting 0 damage or lack of damage coming out here from Team Efficiency, and none of their players are stepping up individually.
Well, let's have a look at some of the thoughts that maybe Team Efficiency could have gone through picking the maps here. And you guys have done many a map pick in your time, Nomad. Why do you think they've gone for something so risky and bold?
I mean, you could potentially say that, again, you know, get the weaker maps out of the way, but then at 5-1, you're leaving yourself such a slim margin to 2-0 EL. Yeah. I mean, that's not a gamble I'd take. That's no way, no way.
Yeah.
But again, maybe they thought they had EL's number on those maps. You know,
Maybe.
they would have gone through the previous VODs of the season. They would have gone through the past strats, and you know, they've gone, oh, they're fairly predictable on these maps, perhaps, and you know, we've got something that can counter it. But you know, EL's just come straight back in swinging.
Yeah.
And with the likes of Rattlesnake, I mean, I said this from yesterday, that Rattlesnake was I said that he was their new star player, and I think that's definitely the case. And he is such a superstar on this lineup now.
Yeah, looking at the map videos once again, just to get you guys back up to speed, Ruinberg and Muro both picked some back-to-back from Team Efficiency is really where we're scratching our heads here, because they had the opportunity to go for some of the more favorable maps to get a good roll on early, but yeah, it just didn't go their way. And Ghost Town being picked by EL as well, also very bizarre rotation.
It is really bizarre. I'd still get that feeling like, oh, they're the wrong way around. I know they're not.
We've
but
checked.
It just really seems as though these two teams have picked their opposing team's maps. And, well, it's worked out in the way of EL Gaming because they're good maps have come out to start off with. Prokhorovka, I did say I thought was going to be a 1-1, but Ruinberg and Muravanka, I was fairly convinced were favorable for EL Gaming. I mean, it was 5-0 on Ruinberg before Team Efficiency came out there and got 1 round on it. And on Muravanka, they barely played it during the regular season, but the one time they did play it, it went the way of EL Gaming. And it's been EL Gaming's map, which they've basically been undefeated until yesterday, where they lost that one to Horseman on it. And maybe that's why Team Efficiency picked it. They saw the game that EL played against Horseman and thought, hey, there's something in this one for us, because EL Gaming didn't look very good in that game. But I don't think that you can sort of come into the game with that kind of a mentality, because EL Gaming is a team that's going to fix their issues from last night or to tonight.
Yeah, there's so many question marks surrounding why they did what they did. And hopefully this is a big wake-up call for them going into the grand finals that they have qualified for, because that's just not going to cut it. Obviously, it was never going to cut it against EL, but they're going to be going up against teams of maybe a caliber that they've never versed before, and they really need to get their affairs in order when it comes to a strong map pool, because it's just not going to fly against some of the best teams in the world.
I'm going to give, in the map pools, I think it's give Tier a little bit of benefit of the doubt. I think when they played on Ruinberg, they showed a really strong attack, as well as with that strat, they showed the spark, they showed the change in ideas.
Yeah, it looked great.
And also on Muravanka, that sort of mind game with the SU-14-2 was good. They just couldn't quite close it out. So I think they've got the good ideas there, but they just haven't been able to execute it as well. But obviously in that last game on Muro, EO showed the dominance.
What I hope to see is some of those good ideas coming out on Ghost Town, coming out on Cliff, some of the maps which we have seen them actually be able to contest with EL Gaming on. So if they put themselves in good positions here on these maps, then potentially we do see that 7-6 that I predicted, maybe the 7-5 that you guys have gone for. Maybe even they come back here on reverse sweep, and Alex...
I'm hoping that they will.
I don't know. I think that this is where things can turn around for Team Efficiency when they get on these more comfortable maps for them. And that's what we have to see from them. But it just does remain to be seen. So I'm kind of actually a little bit glad that we've got this little bit of an interim here in the middle, because it's kind of gone, in my opinion, from the EL Gaming maps. Now we're heading over to what I consider to be the Team Efficiency maps. Obviously, they have a different opinion, but whether or not the stats are going to lie here and Ghost Town is just going to go 2-0 to EL Gaming, or whether or not Team Efficiency is going to continue that strong run that they've had on Ghost Town against EL Gaming, that's going to be the key thing for me here coming out. And I'd really love to see Team Efficiency come back 2-0 Ghost Town, maybe 1-1 Cliff, 2-0 Himmelsdorf. We find ourselves at a tiebreaker. That would be the dream final, the comeback from Team Efficiency, to see them really challenging EL here. But similarly, it would actually be a really good sign for EL Gaming to be able to just completely shut this one out against Team Efficiency going into the grand finals in a month or so, and just to show that strength that they have over the APAC teams.
Yeah, you saw all our predictions. They were very high-numbered games here. We thought this one was going to at least go all the way, sitting 5-1 right now. And of course, Safi and Quiet on your screen. Safi at least trying to be the mental leader for team efficiency right now, but I don't know if just having a good mental game can cut it because their mechanical skills haven't been too good lately. And Quiet, of course, on the other side of EL, such a great player in his own right here, Alex.
Yeah, absolutely. Quiet. I mean, we've seen him this series do really well. Throughout the season, he's done really well. And, well, yeah, there's not too much more to say about Quiet. Safi, it's good to see that he's actually, been keeping his, keeping his cool throughout this series in particular. Really, team efficiency, they just need Granovsky to step up a little bit more because, zero damage. That could have been it if Granovsky, in that first half on Muravanka, if he just dealt, 1,000 damage. If he'd got a clip out, exactly, that could have been the difference. It only takes, 3 shots from a bat chat to take down a 1390. That's all they would have needed. So, look, at the end of the day, we're moving on from the first couple of maps, and we're heading into the second half. So team efficiency, they've literally got to forget about all of that.
It's very easy for us to move on, but can the same be said for team efficiency, right? They need to completely come into this. Even if they come into it with a clean slate, they still have to win 6 rounds as opposed to EL's 2. That is such a momentous feat. We've never seen in the history of APAC, WGL APAC, a team win 5 in a row. These guys have to win 6.
Yeah,
is it possible now?
It's such a mountain to climb. I mean,
and it's not any run-of-the-mill team either. It's against EL Gaming.
Yeah, exactly, and it's at the finals as well. I mean, with you're fighting a team that's got so much LAN experience. I mean, compared to the roster of team efficiency, who there's for a lot of them, it's the first. For a few of them, it's their first time.
Yeah,
and especially for players like Granovsky, this is his first time at LAN.
Yeah,
for JT as well. And these are the players that team efficiency has relied on time and time again throughout the season. Are they facing maybe a little bit of nerves? Are they having some performance anxiety sort of here? And, hopefully with this little break, Safi can rile them back up again. And, they can actually start performing. They can start doing their jobs as those consistent damage dealers.
Look, it's a great point. And yesterday they looked pretty good against Karen Tiger. So it's crazy what 24 hours can do to a team's mental state here. And obviously going up against Karen Tiger, a team they're quite close with, a team they play against all the time. Maybe the nerves aren't just there. It's like, oh yeah, we're playing against people we know we can beat. But coming into this against EL, even though they've beaten them in the past, you can never count a team like Elong out. And they're just showing us why they are still such a dominant force to be reckoned with. And I don't know, Ghost Town, do you think it could go 2-0 here for team efficiency, Chippy?
It's got to be the Cinderella story in the end now. As you were saying before, EL has to win 2 rounds and they close it out. And then obviously TE have to do 6 rounds in a row.
We've never even seen 5.
Yeah, so I'm backing obviously TE today. I'd love them to have that sort of underdog vibe to come back, but it's looking very, very close to Elong just closing it out.
Yeah, I really wouldn't be surprised. As much as we do give these maps to team efficiency right now, with the way they're playing compared to the way EL are playing, I don't think there's a map in the pool that team efficiency can 2-0 EL on.
It doesn't seem like it, and the last time actually that these two teams faced each other in a finals event was obviously last season in the Season 1 finals where they met in the semis, and that went 7-2 in the favour of EL Gaming. Now, I have to say, I think the team efficiency that we're seeing this season is much, much stronger than the team efficiency that we saw last season, but the results that they're showing here at the finals perhaps aren't going to be aren't reflecting that exactly, and so we do need to see team efficiency step up and at least make this one a little bit closer. Otherwise, I mean, if they bomb out of this 7-1, that's going to be a very disappointing final. Guys.
Like, exactly. And, you think about team efficiency, right? They are a predominantly Australian team that have come overseas here to Taipei and are battling it out in, one of the biggest sort of esports events so far. I think really, not only just in World of Tanks this year, but it's a massive feat for an Australian team in general, right?
Yeah.
And you don't want to go 7-1. You've got that pride. Obviously, T, they're made from a bunch of countries that, got together. A bunch of guys from different countries have got together and, they're fighting under sort of a generally Australian flag. But look, I just hope for their sake and for Australia's sake that
we're a multicultural nation, Alex.
Exactly. That we'll see them kind of come up a little bit here and not just drop down 7-1. I want to see some Aussie battler spirit in there.
Well,
John.
If there was ever a time for that, I think it would be now. They do have a big ladder to climb to come back into this series, and EL Gaming is looking so strong. But if there were ever a map It would be Ghost Town in my eyes here that Team Efficiency have the best chance on. So they need the 2-0 here. They need a 2-0 another map as well. And then they need to go at least 1-1 in the final third map. But it's a very, very quick start here from EL Gaming, straight onto that 2 flag. They don't want to let Team Efficiency back into this one. They really want to be the ones dictating the pace of this game, and I think that's exactly what they need to be doing. They need to put Team Efficiency on the back foot here to start off with, and just say, look, we're here to close this out.
Yeah, and I don't like how Team Efficiency have gone for that T49. Like, anyways, we'll get over that. They've still got 6 other pretty decent tanks, Mausers, T57 Heavy and AMX 50B. And look, that RU251 on the flag should be reasonably easy for Team Efficiency to get the reset on. 39 seconds left though, because EL have just put another tank on towards that flag. And
I'm not so sure it's going to be easy here to get the reset under black. I think Principal's blocking off one side of him now, so it essentially has to be the direction the party and more are headed into, and it does seem like EL Gaming are funneling them into a trap, and it's working out very, very nicely. So Team Efficiency, they must get the reset here, and they really need to commit to it. They're desperately trying to get resets on those Mausers just to give them that little bit of extra time here to work with, but it's the RU251 that they need to hit, and they're not getting shots into him.
Yeah, 15 seconds left, and that RU251, who's even able to get some shots?
Party has to be the one to do it. He needs to push forward here. He's got 10 seconds, but Rattlesnake should be able to block this off, and they're still getting resets on the Mausers, but that can only last for so long. The favorable trades are here for EL Gaming. They've already taken down Granovsky in that T57, and Black, they can't reset Black. Oh, they do!
There we go.
Just in time. It's Safi that came around the corner there in the mouse to get that reset, but Team Efficiency, have they lost too much in doing this?
Well, they've already lost to T57 Heavy. You know, JT's about 1 shot from death, and he goes down after that. And look, they've got Skell on the field, who's not going to be doing anything to these heavy tanks on EL Gaming side. Fox TS, he's going to be coming in with a clipping out Bohan. See you later, another mouse for Team Efficiency. And really, I just think they've lost too much at this point. EL Gaming, they're going to be able to close it out.
Yeah, I didn't even see really what happened to Granovsky there early on in the feast. I was focusing too much on that reset. I mean, maybe he can get a ram kill onto Quiet, which is going to give them something a little bit here to play with. That's what he needs, because he's going to go down. Quiet's going to get the reload off first. Oh, he doesn't have the speed.
No.
So Moore's dead.
Oh, that's embarrassing.
EL Gaming are essentially just rolling all over Team Efficiency right now. That RU251 strat definitely doesn't seem like Team Efficiency were expecting anything like that, or they weren't expecting to have that much difficulty in resetting it. And I think EL played it so well.
Yeah.
With both the Mausers there just blocking for the RU251, being a big wall of steel. It's exactly what they're designed for, really. And Team Efficiency, they weren't able to get that reset without sacrificing far, far too much. And EL Gaming, I mean, that's probably that really for Team Efficiency. They needed that 2-0 on Ghost Town. I think they're out of this one now.
Oh, that's disappointing to see them go down just like that, like, you know, a bag of cement, you know, dropped off a bridge.
Yep. Wasn't good.
No, not good at all. And again, Team Efficiency went for the T49. Why? Why the T49 on Ghost Town? It doesn't do anything.
Because memes,
Oh,
Alex. Because
seriously.
No, I hated that lineup from Team Efficiency, honestly. Like, four Mausers and a T57 Heavy and a T49 on a defense on Ghost Town. It's so immobile. Like, what do? You can't rotate around with the Mausers. And you saw that Safi barely got the reset there onto Black, and Party needed to push in their way sooner. But their Mausers, they got to climb up a hill onto the middle of that 2-cap plaza, and they're running right into the crossfire. I mean, they can't do anything else but that, because they're in Mausers and they're in 57 Heavy. They don't have the speed or flexibility to really rotate around and take advantage of any gaps in Eong's weaknesses there. And I think that was just, honestly, it was not a good lineup for defending Ghost Town there, and a bit questionable in my opinion.
Yep, championship point right now for EL Gaming. They're 1 round away from taking it right out of Efficiency's grasp. And this is not how any of us predicted this series going. And looks like Safi didn't predict it going this way either. He looked as perplexed as we do, Jordan.
Yeah, Team Efficiency, they were very confident actually coming into this one, having spoken with all of them. And seeing how they were talking as well around in Twitch chat, they did say, you know, like, we're not scared of EL Gaming anymore, which is something that they probably would have been in Season 1. They came into into this one knowing that they've defeated them
Double
before. And
thumbs up.
that's Fox TS. I mean, what can you really say?
Yeah.
Like that, I think really...
He's come to work, mate.
He
He's come
has.
to work.
It's-
He's come to do his job.
Another day at the office.
It's a half day, apparently.
Yeah, he's taken an RDO apparently, but like it's just an easy day at the office here for EL Gaming and Team Efficiency for all of their confidence that they said they came into this one into it. I don't know, maybe it was just, I suppose in a sense for the cameras, if I were to have a bit of an analogy, but they definitely haven't showed up here against EL Gaming.
I've got a theory.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's
Lay
it,
it on me, mate.
what is it?
Well, if you look at the season results, right? Week 4, Team Efficiency, 5-4. They took that, and that was phenomenal. Next week, again, week 5, they came back and they took it. And as you mentioned earlier, with EL, they weren't happy with the amount of training that they were putting in. So, obviously losing 2 tiebreakers to Team Efficiency, a team that they feel that they should comfortably beat on any given day of the week, I think they've really taken it serious. And even, as you can see, in week 9, when they've gone to match up against them again, they defeated them pretty convincingly, 5-2. And now we're seeing here 6-1.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think you hit the nail on the head right there. Like you said, they're disappointed in their results, and they wanted to show that they can beat Team Efficiency any day of the week. And just so happened that it's today, one of the most important games that either team will ever play here. So unfortunate for Team Efficiency, but they just are not showing up. They're not performing right now, and they're being completely outclassed in every single aspect by EL Gaming.
Yeah, and... well, you can put it down to the maps maybe, but really at the end of the day, like, I see you shaking your head, Nomad, and I definitely agree. They've just gotten absolutely wrecked on Ghost Town. Like, if you're not going to win on these maps, the ones that you've picked, then what are you going to do?
TE have a 90% win rate on Ghost Town defense.
Not anymore.
And can I tell you something? They don't have a 90% win rate on Ghost Town defense when they pick T49s and that sort of a super stationary, super static lineup.
Here's the thing, right? I can understand if you're playing mechanically poor on the day, things aren't just working, but every single aspect of Team Efficiency has looked subpar. Their map picks were terrible. Their tank lineups have been very questionable. And obviously, we've seen a few games where Granoski is just doing nothing. What is going wrong on Team Efficiency right now? They're sinking, it seems.
They're choking.
Yeah, they seem to be just not quite reading EL well enough, I think. EL in that match in particular, they saw how TE had a very mouse-heavy lineup.
Yep.
Black, I think, went straight to the cap in the R251, and he didn't even move. Like, he just sat there, and that pressure is on immediately.
Yeah.
And obviously with mouses, they take too much time to get there.
Yeah.
And I think EL's reading TE better than TE is reading EL.
Well, that's for sure.
Yeah.
It sucks to see. And EL, they're a team that we know they can show up any given day of the week and show up so strong here. And subpar play is just never going to cut it. Granoski, once again, really struggling in the T57 Heavy. He was the first one off the field in that game. That was pretty much all of their damage, their burst damage anyway dealt. They had 4 Mausers left to play with, and that just wasn't going to cut it when, like you mentioned, EL Gaming, they instantly identified what the plan was coming out of Team Efficiency. Chuck someone on the cap, create the iron wall, force everyone on Efficiency to then spend the rest of the time just moving into position. And by then, EL Gaming have got the counter set up and they're just firing from all cylinders.
I mean, so far, the only member of Team Efficiency that I feel has been showing up consistently every game has been Bohan.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the only one there consistently in the top 7, and he can't carry
He
a team
can't do
by
it all.
himself.
No.
I mean,
A heavy
he
tank
may
is
be
not
one of the
gonna
best
carry
players, but no.
It is unfortunate to see here. We really were hoping for a close final, considering how back and forth every single series had been between these two teams all season long. We thought this is it. This is a game we're looking for, a best of 13 Efficiency and EL Gaming. We were quite divided amongst ourselves who was actually going to take it out here, but it seems our voices have been silenced. It seems Efficiency have been silenced. EL showing no signs of slowing down, are 1 round away from taking the championship, from taking that $50,000 prize, and of course the top spot, the undisputed spot, answering all questions to whether or not they are the #1 team in the APAC region.
Absolutely. Team Efficiency, they were, I'm not going to say really in contention for that kind of a title, but they were up there. I definitely thought they were a good team coming into this. But EL Gaming has come out of again and just completely shown us that they are the best team in the region, without a doubt.
Yep.
And they look like they're going to 7-1 this and force Team Efficiency to their worst defeat of the season against EL Gaming, that's for sure. And they've actually not even been able to contest with EL Gaming as much as Horseman did yesterday.
Yeah,
that's really not good for team efficiency. A team that has been able to contest EL Gaming before, a team that has looked far better than Horseman throughout the rest of this season, not even to be able to get 2 rounds here. Well, they have to hope that they can get this one on Ghost Town, but if not, then, I mean, team efficiency, they will go home disappointed. Admittedly, yes, they've qualified for the grand final. They probably come here and they've achieved what they set out to do, which was to qualify for the finals event in Moscow, but they would have hoped to have had a much closer series here, at least against EL Gaming. But maybe it's the fake out.
Anyways, let's
maybe
find
it's
out.
the fake out.
Exactly.
They come out
They
here
can
and just
still
smash
come
it.
back. They can still come back.
It's technically still possible.
It's possible. And look, the only issue is that, again, in this half, team efficiency have gone for a super slow, heavy lineup. You know, I want to see Safi and Party in some bat chats, damn it. Like, you know, I want to see them flanking. I want to see them, you know, actually making plays. They can't make plays in these Mousers. You know, they just get slightly out-traded by EL Gaming, and it looks like that might be happening again. EL Gaming, they're sending Fox, yes, and Quiet. There's 2 AMX 50Bs around. They're going to probably find JT, getting some trades happening early. And, I mean, you know, Mouse trades, they never usually go one way or the other, as we're seeing there. But look at this, Fox, yes, and Quiet. They're going to be flanking around and maybe finding some of those, the sides of those team efficiency Mousers. Moore's not going to be able to help out either because he's on the reload in that AMX 50B.
And look at how keen EL Gaming are actually to close this one out. They're pushing so hard into team efficiency. I want to have a listen in with EL Gaming and see how they're feeling right now up against team efficiency.
别挡我！
打不死他，打不死他！
哎呦！老鼠别轻易开团，别轻易开团，火力也是一样。安全，安全，安全，安全。
后面老鼠。
他们在关在底下了，后面两个去搞，两个去搞，两个去搞，两个去搞，两个去搞。再来一个人帮我，再来一个人帮我。我在。
我帮不了你。
哦，你那个地方帮不了。我那边开了一发。我装弹，我装弹，我装弹。我掩护你，我掩护你。我掩护你，我掩护你。 这个点很危险，这边 hold 住，这边 hold 住，不要急
，hold 不住。
出来，那个老狗，老子是被交叉了，我操，你还在这里堵。漂亮！妈的！小白，你往那边打，我去赶这边的人了。这边要主动弹手。2打1，2打1。哎，让，开了炮仗。
他们武林兵要进场了哦。
过去，我们。
Well, this is looking a little bit better for team efficiency. They do have a slight health advantage. They've traded 1 for 1, so that's better than what I can say for a lot of the rounds so far. And I think EL Gaming, they were maybe just a little bit too keen to close this one out. They've given team efficiency a chance here, maybe to sneak around, but again, it just looks like maybe they're even being a little bit too strong in this sense. They are starting to trade favorably, and team efficiency, again, a bit on the back foot.
Yeah, this is a bit more of an old-fashioned kind of mouse brawl in the city here for Ghost Town, which, you know, typically we do expect to go 1-to-1 for the most of the battle, I guess. And Fox TS here in the AMX 50B, he's an issue for team efficiency because he's got a full clip loaded. He's on full HP. Moore's just been taken down, and well, team efficiency going to be feeling it. If Party goes down, that's going to turn it into a 6v4. And that's not something that team efficiency want right now. They need those guns on the field.
They've still got it still in terms of their HP, like they're hanging in there, but they need those guns in the game. And Fox TS taking down Party. Safi at least able to trade that one back, keeping it as even as he can. It's still favorable in terms of the players available for EL Gaming right now, but this one is really going down to the wire. And the problem, I think, for team efficiency right now is that EL Gaming still have playmaking tanks on the field. The 50Bs, the 113, even the IU-251 to an extent can make the plays. Team efficiency, they've got 2 Mousers and an IU-251. They just cannot clutch a victory out here from this point.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. Skell, they're taking 1 more shot. And, I mean, maybe if Skell could come up huge and take out some of the AMX 50Bs potentially, but they've just reloaded. You know, now we've got, 7 clips of AMX 50, 7 shells of AMX 50B left on the field, and it is looking like EL Gaming right here. They've only got 1,300 health to burn through before they take out team efficiency and take out the title of WGL APAC Season 2 champions, Jordan.
Yeah, it's not far to go here, team efficiency. There we have it, EL Gaming 7-1. And they go back-to-back. They pick up Season 1, they pick up Season 2, and they are again the champions of WGL.
You've got to give it to EL Gaming there. I mean, we were thinking that maybe coming into this event they might misstep, but not at all. 7-1, the most convincing win so far against Team Efficiency this season. You know, they're the pro tankers here in WGL APAC. They have cemented their place at the top of the mountain, you know, looking down on the rest of the teams.
The Church of Elong.
The Church of Elong has been resurrected.
Yeah.
Yep, all those kind of acolytes who thought that the Church of Elong wasn't still in full effect, they've kind of silenced all the doubters right there. So a huge congratulations to EL Gaming. And you can see, even though it was a very one-sided affair, they are still as stoked as ever to have taken it away and once again be your WGL APAC champions. And they've earned it with a very strong victory, 7-1 over Team Efficiency, who are looking absolutely crushed right now. We thought they were going to come in and put on a great effort, but first the Horsemen fall 7-1, and now Efficiency as well 7-1. There is really no one that can stand against EL Gaming.
No, definitely not. Not at this point in this region. We have to see how EL Gaming is going to go internationally and how Team Efficiency as well is going to go internationally. Obviously, this is EL Gaming's moment though, so let's talk about them. The fantastic players throughout this season. They've had some hiccups, but they've definitely come out to the finals. They've really come out and showed that they are the best team in the region. 7-2 over Horsemen, 7-1 over Team Efficiency, who's been their most bitter rival this season. And here we go, the handshake's coming out. I mean, Team Efficiency, they can't be too disappointed with how things have gone here. They have qualified for the grand finals, but to go down 7-1 against EL Gaming, they would have wanted more, but it looks like they're taking that one in good stead, and I'm sure they're going to have a good night tonight.
Yeah, I'm sure they definitely wanted more, and we all expected more, so I'm really hoping that they don't take this loss too hard on themselves. They have shown throughout the season that they are a team to be reckoned with, obviously, on the day-to-day. Only one best of 13 that they have a shot at taking out EL, and it wasn't meant to be. EL just once again showing up strong here.
Yeah, look, I think rough. That was rough for Team Efficiency.
Yeah.
After like such a fantastic season that they had, to go out in the finals 7-1, they're gonna have a lot to take away in terms of learning from their mistakes, going into the grand finals. I mean, what was it you were calling them off the desk, Jordan, yesterday? Team deficiency? I think it was a little bit.
Might be a little bit of that at the moment. It might be. But look, EL Gaming here, they're well-deserved victors. They'll thank the crowd as well. And I mean, that trophy, it's been theirs since the start of the season, really, I think.
And one more time, EL Gaming, your WGL APAC Season 2 champions. Well-deserved victory. They had a bit of a shaky start in comparison to their Season 1 ending, but Season 2, it doesn't matter. The journey, the results are still the same for them getting themselves that trophy, getting themselves that $50,000 first prize victory here. And of course, silencing all the questions whether or not they were still the #1 team after EL had defeated them in the regular season. Team Efficiency, rather, defeating them in the regular season. EL come out strong again and completely decimate their opponents. 7-1. No one could have predicted that here, Jordan.
Well, not one of us. In hindsight, you can say, oh, look, I mean, that's a fairly expected result, but really, it 100% was not.
No.
We thought that Team Efficiency would step up. I was debating between 7-6 and 7-5 in the favor of EL Gaming. I think I've got a little bit of egg on my face saying here that Team Efficiency was going to get 6 rounds on the board. But, I mean, you know, if Team Efficiency had have started off there with a 2-0, maybe they had the first map pick. Maybe they picked Cliff or Himmelsdorf. I suppose those are the only two that we can really clutch onto here for Team Efficiency. If they had have started off with a 2-0, get that ball rolling, maybe they could have done something here. But EL Gaming, they have completely wiped the floor with Team Efficiency tonight.
I don't think whatever any maps that they played on.
I don't want to sugarcoat it because it is not a good performance.
After the way that EL played, there's just no way that Team Efficiency were going to beat them today. You can put all these maps in any single order you want, and the result will still be the same. Heck, even that one round, maybe Efficiency getting a little bit lucky there.
Yeah, it was a bit of a reset. I mean, mentally, they came back after Safi riled them up, fired the troops back up into action, and then, yep, they pretty much fell through after that. I mean, it was disappointing to see. They showed some signs of life, and then there wasn't much to show left forward after that.
Yeah, Chippy, any final thoughts for tonight?
Well, Elong, obviously, in these finals and this last game that we've had, they've shown their dominance throughout the region. I think T could have done a little bit better. They did show some sparks and show some strategies there, but yeah, the execution didn't turn out well.
Yep.
As you guys have been saying, JT and Granovsky have had bad games. They've 0 damage games. But I wish it was a lot closer because I was really banking for some tier good times.
I was so excited for this final. I really thought that we were going to get a cracker of a final, but it's not really been that way. A 7-1 in the favor of EL Gaming. Again, I mean, they've just crushed Team Efficiency there, and I was hoping Team Efficiency was going to get a bit closer, but not the case. It's a good learning curve, though, for Team Efficiency. Now they need to knuckle down and focus in on the grand finals.
All right, guys, that's going to be Season 2 done and dusted. A massive congratulations once again to EL Gaming for taking out the championship here. Both these teams going to be making their way over to the grand finals, but that's all we have time for. From myself, the casters, the analysts, the entire production crew, thank you so much for watching, and of course, happy tanking.
They need to get this out, and they're not getting it out as fast as they need to be. Moore goes down with not very much, I think, in the clip, and he will be able to connect that one. Maybe he goes down here, though. There's a couple of STRVs looking at him. In the end, it's actually Principal to take the kill. Moore will go down. It will be a 2-for-2 overall here. Black and Hardliner going down for 2 bat chats.
And any of that cover is...
Oh, now Scale's been spotted out. He's in a real tough position here. I don't think he survives much longer. Fox TS has a beat on him as well, and actually he reverses right into
the bottom of the map, finding quiet there, and that STB1.
I feel as though Safi maybe could have saved Granovsky there if he had a... He does survive that shot, and he will not be able to survive anymore. One more shot is what he needs on Fox TS, and he'll connect that as well. So map control now available for Team Efficiency, and nice. He could be the crucial player here if this shot connects, and it does. Safi's not going to be able to do anything here. He's on the move, and nice. He's come up absolutely massive in that.
They could have been the secret, but that was...
Absolutely. We just turned things around here in the second half. I think it is still favourable for them to potentially close this one out relatively close. The map pool coming up is decent for Team Efficiency, but definitely the way that EL Gaming have come out and started taking down Granovsky in that T57, and Black, they can't reset Black. Oh, they do!
There we go.
Just in time. It's Safi that came around. Maybe he can get a ram kill onto Quiet, which is going to give them something a little bit here to play with. That's what he needs, because he's going to go down. Quiet's going to get the reload off first. Oh, he doesn't have the speed. So Moore's dead.
That's embarrassing.